don't wanna see me mad. I'll be coming with that payback. You don't wanna taste that. Don't wanna see me on attack. Trust me, you don't wanna face that. Adrenaline, I crave that. Yeah, you know I'm nasty. I'm about to be a savage. When I want it, better have it. Nothing's getting past me. About to take this to the mat, and you'll be wishing you could take it back, yeah. Like an assassin, I'm praying. I gotta act on a craving. I'm coming after, I'm chasing. I'm gonna capture, erasing. Yeah, those who cross me, you'll be crossed off, cause I'm plotting. About to pop off, you can't stop me. Winning is exhausting, but I don't plan on stopping. As long as they keep talking, I got these bodies dropping. As long as they keep walking, I'll keep making deposits. They'll find out they can't stop it, cause they'll learn that I'm a prophet. Yo, I'm seeing all red. Got my vision blurry from the anger in my head. I'll never be second best. They gon' learn today what it feels to regret. You can't stop me now. The beat's tearing out. Hold it to the neck, cause I'm seeing all red. Cause I'm seeing all red. Can you feel that? That's pain coming out mad. That's unchained payback. They call me a maniac. When they do something that makes me mad, you won't ever see me hold back. I'm coming for you right now. Knock you out, call it lights out. Try fighting, but you'll find out I'm no longer nice now. That guy left him behind now. All you got's a beast with his claws out. Yo, I'm seeing all red. Got my vision blurry from the anger in my head. I'll never be second best. They gon' learn today what it feels to regret. You can't stop me now. The beat's tearing out. Hold it to the neck, cause I'm seeing all red. Cause I'm seeing all red. Cause I'm seeing all red. I wake up every minute with the fever dreams. I push my mind to a limit where it needs to be. I work blind, got vision I don't need to see. I'm picking mind over matter, I believe in me. I need to find more hours in the day to breathe. Need to find more power in the way I be. And when my mind turns sour with the painful scenes, I need to scream out loud, I can't stop me. I wanna be the greatest like Rocky. You know I leave them all hating like a hobby. I'm out here making moves like a lobby. And if you ain't with me, it's your loss, see. I got my mind on the facts, I'm a python. Grab what I like real fast, stroke until I have everything I attack. Everything that I lack, everything that I want, and I see, matter of fact. Cause I'm my own worst enemy. Only if I let it be. I can control anything if I can just think carefully. I control my destiny. Deep up in my mind
Hello and welcome to my Mind Over Matter. My name is Rick, and let's get this show started. Actually, my phone's going crazy here, trying to figure things out. We are about to get ready for something big announcement tonight. See these back here? Yeah, it's a it's a telltale sign for what's to come. Um, for everyone's safety, please stay away from large groups. This next 2 weeks is going to be very freaking crazy. We're going to end out like this year with a bang, and it's not a good bang. It's craziness because we got sleeper cells that are being activated as I speak and are planning on doing something really big to the American people and to the people here in general in America. Doesn't matter where you're from, they don't care who you are. They just want to take people out. Okay. And I feel like something really, 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 really big is going to happen. Last night, when I went to sleep, guess what happened? Something hit me super hard in my brain again, like really hard. And I'm like, what the is going on? If I go to the emergency room, I know they can't see shit because they're not going to see it because I'm going to be awake and my brain is not going to do what it does. So I'm trying to figure shit out. I'm going to see if I could get in to see this fucking sleep doctor. I want to do it, but the thing is, I don't want to go to the hospital for Christmas. I really don't. I want to hold off until after Christmas. I know I may not make it to maybe Christmas. Who knows? But man, this really hard in the brain. It's really sucks, and I feel like it's like something's hitting me at night, and it's only happening to me at night. Um, is it something a message that they're trying to pound into my head while I'm sleeping? Because like it feels very scary, and I wake up very scared to the point that like my hands are like arms are completely like stiff and numb. So is this like a form of dying? I don't know what the fuck's going on. It's just really crazy, man. It's just really crazy. All right, let's go. Yo, what's up, Albie? What's up, Terry? I'm Terry. Albie, what's going on, guys? I'm here rolling up because we have an announcement coming up at 9 p.m. sharp. We will be going to the White House, and President Trump is going to make an announcement. Um, I'm thinking this is a declaration of war. They might start tonight attacking Venezuela and going after the drugs and the cartels and all the stuff that's over there. And this is gonna for some reason in my mind it screams out, this is all a distraction. This is all part of the distraction. Instead of worrying about Three Eye Atlas, I hope President Trump comes out tonight and says, listen, Three Eye Atlas is actually a fleet of crafts that are out there, and and scare the whole fucking world, right? I think that would be the best thing to happen, right? But the worst thing to happen is him declaring war against Venezuela. It's really going to impact and devastate the people of Venezuela. I have Venezuelan friends and I love their food. I love their culture, but I really can't stand their drug cartels. I cannot stand their weak ass president that they have up there that actually is their president of the cartels. Go figure. So they're gonna want to take out Maduro's tonight or within the next few days, and hopefully they could get this done pretty fast. You don't want to go into a prolonged war, especially Venezuela. Venezuela is very big. People don't realize how big is Venezuela. You want me to show you? I'll show you how big fucking Venezuela is. Give me one sec. Okay, here we go. Let's go ahead and move this over here. And let's show you how big is Venezuela. Here we go. Here's the map. This is the northern part of South America here. And all this here, follow my cursor. Follow my cursor. All this is Venezuela. That's pretty big. You know, let's see if we can zoom in a little bit more here. Look how huge this Venezuela is, right? And then all this here, this is jungle. All this right here, this is all jungle. This here doesn't have much. Like it's you see how like it's not dark green, it's not bushy or anything like that, and it has like dryness. This is flat land, okay? But when you get into here, this is all jungle. And this is where a lot of the drugs are made. It's in here. So what are we gonna do to eliminate this? Oh, something's happening. Hold on. There's some planes in the air. This is in Venezuela. Let me see. What is this? Because I've been looking and I've been on this flat tracker to yeah, there's military planes, but this is not. Let me see who is this? Who is this? Otaka Airlines, and it's Caracas is going, and is it leaving? I wonder if there's like an evacuation. Let me see. Here's another one. Laser Airlines. Barcelona. Let's close this for a second. Oh, come on. The response on this is very slow, so we just got to deal with it. See what I mean? It's very tentative. That's why I don't like using this flight radar. It's the free version is not like the greatest version, and it's like it's supposed to grip and move, and it's not doing it. So I have to wait like a second for it to respond. But I'm curious of these two jets. Okay, what's going on here? Let me see if I can move this. I'm trying to move the map, but it's not letting me. So let me see if I could just refresh it. See if it lets me. Fucking technology has just been really weird. Here, let's go back to me while I fix this. This flight radar is just it's been very slow. And I think because there's a lot of people that are on flight radar right now, to monitor what's going on and to lock in on what's going on. Let me fix this. I wonder if Trump is if he's gonna go after Venezuela, is he also gonna go after Colombia? I mean, there are big drug traders. Hello, that's where the cocaine comes from. Colombia. You know, it's this is a military. This is the Navy. U.S. Navy. There was two out here at one point. There were two out here, and they're being tracked by 14,607 people. It's like whole world, in the whole world, and all the people that are monitoring right now. The second, this is what they're monitoring is this jet right here. But there's a second one. There we go. It's letting me move. Great. I don't know where it went. Oh, both of them are there. Oh no, they're both here. They're both on the carrier. Here it is. Here's the second one. Let me zoom in. Because there's two jets here. You see? There's two. There's the Grizzly. It's like a Grizzly. All right. Can you hear me now? It wasn't like that the whole show, was it? Ah, Lord. I tell you, I hate StreamYard. I haven't paid them yet because my bill was due yesterday and I'm not paying it. I'm not paying it right now. Yes, thank you. But in the beginning of the show, did I have sound? I had sound, right? I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know. I don't know. All right, let's go back to the me navigating because I switch windows, right? So I don't see what's going on in the chat when I'm looking at this. You see, when I'm scrolling like this, I cannot see what you guys are writing. So, and I don't know if I'm my voice or whatever. Okay, so let me repeat. These 6 planes right now are the top 6 planes that are being monitored in the whole wide world. All right. These 2 planes right here are military planes. These are from the Navy. Are they going to make approach and do an attack? And are missiles going to be shot from out here from our carriers that are out there and our submarines that are out there? I mean, we got a whole fleet out there. So don't get it twisted because we got a lot of equipment. And trust me, there's a lot of equipment in Puerto Rico too. There's all equipment all around there, and the United States, they man, that's the only thing that sucks is to start a war right before Christmas, right? The best bet is to end a war before Christmas. And you know something too, when I noticed I had a whole bunch of like windows, like little things that opened here saying there was a problem with the sound. I mean, Discord StreamYard's having a problem with the sound. So I hope it doesn't do it again, but it is what it is. Only happened a couple of minutes. Yeah, and it just did it by itself. I bet I was talking right, and it did it by itself. It's crazy. All right, I try to do my best. Um, but I am monitoring these 2 military crafts here that've been going circles here for a while. Um, they've been at it for here for a while, flying around. Let's go ahead and take this out. Let's check this plane. And that's what it's been doing. It's just been going all around and just flying around doing this, like stalling, like waiting for the call, like the preparation and like when are we gonna get the green light? And then when they get the green light, they're gonna go straight in and try to attack, see what happens. I mean, this one's on the move, so. And look, 20,000, almost 21,000 people are watching this one right now. This is number 1 in the world. This is number 2 being watched in the world. And this plane's been doing zigzags all around too. See, number 2 being followed by 16,347. It's a lot of people watching these 2 planes. And in about 33 minutes from now, we are going to go live to the White House and we're going to listen to a special report. President Trump is going to speak to the nation tonight, and there's a possibility that he is going to make an announcement that we are declaring war against Venezuela. That's the anticipation from everyone. Everyone is reporting on this. I'm not the only one, but I am one of them. Oh, goodness gracious. Let me see here. Let's back this up. Man, but Venezuela's big, man. That's a big country. Like, size wise, oh my goodness. It's huge. That's what she said. Oh my God. It's huge. Yeah, Venezuela's huge. Oh, it's doing its crazy shit again. Let me see if I can take this out and see if I can move. If it lets me. Oh, come on. It's freezing. It's not letting me do it. It sucks. Because see, it's not letting me. I could zoom in, but and I can zoom out. Problem is, when I'm trying to move it, it's like, there you go. Now it's moving. Thank God. I'm just trying to like line it up. Here we go. Let's see what's this one. This one's moving quick. 25,000 people right now. It just jumped 5,000 more people are watching this little bleep right here that's moving in. Are they going to make that approach into Venezuela? Like, what's going on? 26,000 is climbing and it's moving. All right. This could be it. This could be the beginning of a war. What war would they call it? You know, what's going to be the name of this war? And if we're declaring war, this is a real war. Um, I wonder how long this war is going to be. And if they are going to make a declaration, don't they supposed to go to Congress or to hammer out the declaration? Yeah, it only happened for a few couple of minutes. Okay. Yeah, it's the system. I'm running the show how I always run it. So for it to have no sound, that's not on me. Because I'm not looking at the StreamYard window when I look at the map. Now I'm looking at the StreamYard. Now I see what's going on here. But I just don't like the setups. Like, it's StreamYard's just really slacking. You know, I don't. This is supposed to be a full window and doesn't put it full, so I don't know what's going on here. Um, but what happened to that plane we were looking at here, and it's gone? Where did it go? Now 30,000 people are looking. Oh, it's up here now. I don't know what's going on. To be honest with you, they can be playing some trickery. Um, this plane, I don't know where it's going because it's not saying. Um, I left Caracas and it's going down this way. I wonder. I wonder who's in this jet. It's the ninth most watched in the whole world. Is this plane that's moving that left Caracas? So let's jump out here. Let's see, what plane is this. Okay, that was the L-27. So that one they were watching too. That one's 27. So that's the number 4. Number 4 watched in the world. This one's the number. This one is number 3. It's the third watch in the whole world. This one right now, 906. Where's 906? I know you're gonna be out. Here it is, 906, the 8th in the world. Any planes that are around this area, they're being watched. So very interesting. The numbers are pretty high on these two right here. These are 1, 2. So between both of them, it's close to over. It's actually over 50,000 people right now is watching these two planes. Compared to like other planes, like out here, nobody. You know, some family members are probably tracking them and making sure everything's okay and everything's doing fine. Like this one's a JetBlue. I think this one's probably going to Brazil, most likely. Let me see. Where is it going? Georgetown. And it's a JetBlue. You see, I told you it was JetBlue. um, so they go in Georgetown, so they're not too far. Oh Lord, I gotta take this thing out. Let's see. Uh, Let me not push my luck with working. Okay, it's working. Yeah, I was thinking about, but the thing is that I don't use the two screens. For one, I don't have space on my desk because my desk is my kind of like my shrine. It's my it's what keeps everything positive, and everything that I love is pretty much on this desk. And it's my altar, like my and but I was thinking about the screens because I could do something, and I could have it like, but I don't know. But trust me, it's on a really big television, so I'm like looking like it's a full screen here. It's just small there, but it's big. So we got 25 minutes before we get any we when we get the White House for the president. He's gonna address the nation at 9 p.m. So we are gonna catch that live. Be here. Um, what you think is gonna happen? What does your heart tell you that's going to happen? See, it's unresponsive. That's crazy. A lot of jamming, a lot of like interference. Like, look, even the internet, like everything's slow motion. Look, what? That's crazy, 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 crazy. Let me see. Let's go ahead and put this here. You want to take a look at the White House? I got a picture of the White House. You want to look at the White House? I got a live. Here it is. There's the White House. That's live right now. And we're going to be catching this. We're going to catch the president. What is he going to announce to the nation tonight? Is this the night that we're going to have the declaration of war and we're going to fight? Hey, I hope he calls and says, yeah, we're bringing back the draft too. Boom. I would be, oh my God, that would be so awesome. If Trump was to come and say, dude, what is going on here? You see, it's weird. This whole thing is just so fucking weird. I don't know. And I feel robotic. Look, it's like kind of like robotic. It's just that's the anger I have. But I ain't giving up. Not yet. I got my medicine. I want to roll up another medicine here because this is going to be a two joint show for sure. Venezuela. There's a lot of jungle there. A lot of jungle. Like I said, that's where a lot of drugs are made in the jungle. And they're gonna go after those areas. They're gonna attack those areas, or like, what's the deal with the drugs? Because they want to slow down. Because that's what the Democrats love, right? They love their drugs. They really do. They're all hooked on it. A lot of politicians, even Republicans too. There's some fucking crackheads in there, for sure. But they love that cocaine. I don't know. I think Coca-Cola should bring back their original Coke. The original Coke that had cocaine in it. But it was medicine. So it would help, like if you had like let's say you had a root canal, or you had like teeth removed, or you had like the doctor would prescribe you all right, 2 bottles of Coke, like Coca-Cola, and you take it to the pharmacy and they will give you the bottle of Coca-Cola, but that Coca-Cola had cocaine in it. And then they were like too happy, and it got to a point that they were like, yeah, we're gonna have to stop this and take it away from them, like not give it back and classify it as a really like I forgot where it stands in the level of drugs. I hope tonight Trump comes on and says, "Listen, America, I'm gonna give you the biggest Christmas gift." I'm like, what, Trump? Please give me a great gift for Christmas. Say, we're gonna send you $2,000, and marijuana is not gonna be classified anymore as a Schedule 3. I think it is. They're gonna like reschedule it so that way we don't get screwed. Especially me, that I smoke medicine because of all my issues that I have. Kind of keeps me on track. But I want to roll this joint here before Trump comes on and starts talking. Venezuela. And I'm saying, don't go into big groups. Don't go into areas where a lot of people got to understand there's sleeper cells in the country right now, and these people are activated, and they are going to harm people. Like, but nobody listens. So, just the ones that are here, you're safe. You will be safe because you're home, and home is your safe spot. You know, nobody can hurt you in your safe spot. They already thwarted what there was a plan for an attack somewhere in LA, I heard, and they arrested like four. The FBI or something arrested like 4 people in connection of them that like detonating certain bombs and certain things, testing them, and for planning an attack that they wanted to do on New Year's Day, on New Year's Eve. I think it was like for New Year's. That's that's wild. I'm telling you, we're Americans, man. You think you're safe? You're not. You're not. You're not safe. No state is safe. They're already here. They're here. And what I mean, who's here? The real boogeymans are here. The ones that are gonna put so much fear into people. And it sucks because like humanity, they don't learn. They keep making the same mistakes. Don't worry. This will be replayed and redone in the future. So, but I hope the people that are watching from the future, like, hopefully you guys are watching this show, and you're watching this show. I know you're saying, "What the fuck were you guys thinking?" I know. But this is the time that like they always tend to want to do something. Let me check the where the. Let me see something. Let me see something. Okay. So we got a waning crescent moon. So we have a crescent moon. The next full moon is on the 3rd. If they're gonna launch an attack tonight, it's probably a good night to do it. There's gonna be so much light on the sky. And the new moon is coming up now on the 19th. And the 19th is such a big day because that's how the closest point of 3i Atlas is towards Earth. And yet nobody's talking about that, and all these distractions. It's just like it's a missed opportunity from humanity to be more into the sky. But no, they distract us with war and threats of war and Candace Owens with her shit and this Charlie Kirk shit that's going on. That's a fuck fest. Bongino wants to leave the FBI. Like, he's already packing his shit to get the fuck out of there. He don't want to be with the FBI no more because he knows the truth and he don't want to be a part of it. All right, I rolled me a joint because I'm gonna need it. It's gonna be one hell of a night. No videos right now. I do have a video we could watch. It's not in relation to this, but we could kill some time real quick. How long is it? Yeah, let's watch some liberal hype mind real quick. Let's set it up, and that way, after this, we'll go straight to the White House. Yeah, I knew that. I knew it was bullshit. But those people are still in charge. Those people are still in charge. They're still in Washington. It doesn't make sense. They're still in Washington D.C. All right, let's move it up a little bit. And I don't want to. Let's go over here. There we go. Say sometime Trump is coming. Some no sound. What do you mean? There's no sound coming out? You sure? Because I hear sound on my side. You know what? Let me see something. Let me take it out and bring it back in. No, because I got to make sure this works because Trump is talking tonight. So I'd rather get this addressed now. All right, let me see.
Justice Department
All right, how about now?
did not have probable cause, did not meet the standard for a search warrant when they raided President Trump's home at Mar-a-Lago. That is significant. Why? It's in the statutory limit. It is prosecutable in the state of Florida, so you're not dealing with Virginia or Washington or New York jurors. And it could lead to both criminal charges against the prosecutors if they misled the court, or civil litigations where the president sues his own Justice Department saying, you violated my Fourth Amendment right against illegal search and seizure. And so
you're telling me there actually exist communications between people that show that they didn't have probable cause, which, remember, back in August that year, there was I think it was 21, there was this whole firestorm about this. And they went on TV every night and said that. You're saying they not only they had a discussion behind, they actually went out and lied about it in media every single day on MSNBC and in the New York Times.
Well, here's the real question. We're going to have to find out what they represented to the judge to get that search warrant signed, because the FBI, the Washington field office of the FBI, which, by the way, was no fan of Donald Trump's. They were behind January 6th. They were behind Russia collusion. They were telling the Biden Justice Department there was not a probable cause to raid Mar-a-Lago. That is a significant. These are emails and memos from inside the Washington field office of the FBI, an anti-Trump field office. That is a really significant memo. We haven't seen the documents yet. We know what they generally say, but we're going to see. They're going to get turned over to Grassley in Jordan today, and then Jack Smith's on the Hill tomorrow for a deposition. If he shows up, I'm sure he's going to be confronted by these documents.
Pretty damning stuff. And now if we actually go to the document, here's the document that was released. We'll cover a couple excerpts here. This is from the Washington field office memo. Quote, WFO does not believe that we have established probable cause for a search warrant. That's pretty plain English. That's the FBI's own field office in writing saying that we do not think we actually have probable cause to raid a former president's home. And then here's the follow-up. Quote, DOJ has opined and they do have probable cause. Yeah, of course they did. You have the actual law enforcement people. You've got FBI saying we do not have probable cause. But then you've got, of course, the politically elected Democrat crew running the DOJ, and they come in and say, actually, no, we got all kinds
and they
of
say that the Republicans
greenlit the raid on Trump's Mar-a-Lago home. But just wait, it gets even worse. Because initially it was supposed to be a narrow, targeted search. But no, they wanted everything. They wanted essentially to use this as an excuse to find anything, to go through his entire home. I guess this is the whole, going through Melania's panty drawer thing. Quote, they wanted a warrant with a wide scope, including residence, office, and storage space. They also admitted that this whole obsession with trying to justify the raid was a mess. Quote, the 6 weeks spent fixated on probable cause have been counterproductive. Spending time on probable cause, having actual evidence to raid a former president's home. Again, it's not just some random Joe Schmo off the streets. Not saying that that would be justified. That would be equally as unjustified. But, in those cases, you kind of get it. Bad stuff happens. You got corrupt cops and judges. But we're talking about raiding the home of a former president. And they're saying it's counterproductive to focus on probable cause. And by the way, they also admit, quote, we have not found any witness saying that they saw classified records there after the June 3rd, 2022 return. So they had no witness, no probable cause. And the DOJ's response was basically, we don't care. We've decided there's probable cause. So go ahead, sign the wide-ranging warrant and kick the damn door in. Folks, that is not neutral enforcement of the law. That is a political decision that was dressed up as a search warrant. And really, it's important to remember the context here. As this was happening, there was already a records dispute in process, and they even admit that. Trump's team was already in back and forth negotiations with NARA. That's the National Archives and Records Administration. They had scheduled a visit. They had actually conducted a visit, not to mention, they were the ones who sent the documents to Trump's home. They sent pallets of his presidential records. And at one point, the memo even talks about going back through Corcoran or possibly doing a consent search, which is a less intrusive option. They had the option of going through NARA, going back and forth with President Trump. If there were actual documents that he was holding illegally, which, by the way, every document that was in his possession, they knew about because they were the ones who freaking released the documents in his possession. Not to mention most of the stuff was declassified, and he has ultimate authority as president to declassify any document. So, there's really no issue of the president stealing classified documents when he could declare them classified or unclassified at will. Not to mention there's a Presidential Records Act that protects him. But anyways, the point is they could have gone back and forth with him. They could have chosen a less intrusive option, but they didn't want that. No, they wanted the whole spectacle. They knew exactly what they were doing. They knew very clearly there were peaceful, normal ways of handling an issue. But they chose the most explosive, politically American people in the entire system. And the biggest insult is that the entire time they looked you in the face and they told you it was about protecting national security, right? Remember? Ooh, my nuclear codes on Donald Trump's nightstand. It was all bullshit. They never even found a single witness who had seen any new classified materials after June 3rd. They spent 6 weeks trying to justify the raid, and they couldn't do it, yet they just had to do it anyways, because Donald Trump had to be stopped. This is bad, folks. This is bad. This is Joe Biden's attorney general stepping over his own agents, stepping over the agencies to take the most extreme possible action against the leader of an opposition party in the heat of an election cycle, even when their own people were telling them that they didn't believe they had the legal standards met. It's not just immoral. It's not just corrupt. This is criminal. To knowingly push a search warrant when your investigators are telling you that they don't have abuse of power.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. This potential criminal act is within the statute of limitations in Florida. In other words, there might be an angle of prosecution here. I can't think of a more justified effort. Subpoena everyone, every single official who touched this. Find the FBI agents, find the DOJ lawyers, subpoena the signatories who signed the warrant under oath, blow the lid off this entire thing, because this is the biggest corruption scandal in modern American history. This is a crime against the nation. Absolutely unbelievable corruption. It's mind-blowing in a way, but one thing it isn't is shocking or surprising. I knew the moment Donald Trump won, it was only a matter of time. You know, there was a reason they were trying so hard to stop him, because they didn't want to release these kinds of documents. We found pretty much exactly what we expected. Clear evidence of weaponization of justice. It's time to hold every single individual accountable. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.
All right, so we're done with that. And now we're going to see what's going on at the White House. Let's take it here. Let's move it over. There we go. Live look from the White House. We're 4 minutes away. 4 minute warning. And we're going to see what news we get from the White House live here on MyMindoverYourMatter. So that plane that I was looking at, JetBlue, it's actually going to Guyana. It's going to Georgetown, Guyana. So I didn't know JetBlue flew there, but they're flying there from New York. So I never knew that they fly there from New York City, and it's a nonstop flight. It's scheduled to land in a few minutes to land. So, and I didn't know JetBlue fly there. I wonder how beautiful it is. Oh, you know, I've never been to South America. Do I want to go? Not really, but Georgetown is beautiful. I mean, why the heck? I don't think I can handle all that pressure and for long periods of time in the air. I don't know if I can handle that. We got another plane up. We got another military, Rhino 11. Rhino 11 is activated here. Let's bring it back. What plane is this? Oh, an A on this plane. Let me see if I could grab. Okay, good. You see, another jet is up in the air. So let's back out a little. I wanted to see if there was going to be like a fleet, you know, showing up. Let's take this one out. But Rhino is making it like it's going straight. Hopefully, let's see what happens. We'll see. We got like still about 3 minutes. No, 2 minutes. 2 minutes before the White House goes live, and we get some message from our president and see what he has to say. Let's make this big, a little bigger. You can see it red. This is a new flight, and now 31,000 people are watching this one right now. And now it's the number one watched. And these two here, they dropped to about 18, 17,000. So pretty interesting. I wonder if Trump says, yeah, we're going to just drop the bomb. Like what? Drop an atomic bomb? Holy shit. That'll start and stop instantly the war. You know what I mean? It's like, damn. That will start and stop a war instantly. All right, let's take it over to Trump. See how we're doing here at the White House. Then we go live. And we are waiting for word from the White House. What's going to happen? All those docs are declassified. Yeah, the Mar-a-Lago stuff. Yeah, they were declassified. It doesn't make any sense. That's why our country was taken over by Obama 2.0. Just put Biden as the puppet while Obama does the dirty work behind the scenes with the DOJ and with Homeland Security. Everybody, FBI, they were all like rogue, and they did so much damage to this country, and people don't even realize it because they're so busy and they don't got time to pay attention. Yeah, right now they're worried about shopping and buying gifts for Christmas. Like, why? Pay attention, watch world news. Don't worry so much about America, it's the world. And I know this is gonna get the Venezuelans, because there's a lot of people from Venezuela here in America, and there's a lot of those gangs here in America. And I just wonder if declaring war is going to activate some kind of sleeper cell, and they're going to have some kind of like, I don't even want to think about it too much, because there we go.
Good evening, America. 11 months ago, I inherited a mess, and I'm fixing it. When I took office, inflation was the worst in 48 years, and some would say in the history of our country, which caused prices to be higher than ever before, making life unaffordable for millions and millions of Americans. This happened during a Democrat administration, and it's when we first began hearing the word affordability. Our border was open, and because of this, our country was being invaded by an army of 25 million people, many who came from prisons and jails, mental institutions, and insane
He's going to sign the Resurrection Act,
dealers,
the Insurrection Act,
members, and even 11,888 murderers, more than 50% of whom killed more than one person. This is what the Biden administration allowed to happen to our country.
Insurrection Act.
And it can never be allowed to happen again. We had men playing in women's sports, transgender for everybody, crime at record levels, with law enforcement, and words such as that just absolutely forbidden. We had the worst trade deals ever made, and our country was laughed at from all over the world, but they're not laughing anymore. Over the past 11 months, we have brought more positive change to Washington than any administration in American history. There's never been anything like it, and I think most would agree. I was elected in a landslide, winning the popular vote and all 7 swing states and everything else, with a mandate to take on a sick and corrupt system that really just took the wealth from people and crushed the dreams of the American people. For the last 4 years, the United States was ruled by politicians who fought only for insiders, illegal aliens, career criminals, corporate lobbyists, prisoners, terrorists, and above all, foreign nations, which took advantage of us at levels never seen before. They flooded your cities and towns with illegal aliens. They decimated your hard-earned savings. They indoctrinated your children with hate for America. They just released a level of violent felons that we had never seen to prey on innocent. They caused war. They caused mayhem. They caused a horrible situation all over the globe. But now you have a president who fights for the law-abiding, hardworking people of our country, the ones who make this nation run, who make this nation work. And after just 1 year, we have achieved more than anyone could have imagined. Starting on day one, I took immediate action to stop the invasion of our southern border. For the past 7 months, 0 illegal aliens have been allowed into our country, a feat which everyone said was absolutely impossible. Do you remember when Joe Biden said that he needed Congress to pass legislation to help close the border? He was always blaming Congress and everyone else. As it turned out, we didn't need legislation. We just needed a new president. We inherited the worst border anywhere in the world, and we quickly turned it into the strongest border in the history of our country. In other words, in a few short months, we went from worst to best. We're deporting criminals, restoring safety to our most dangerous cities. Just take a look at Washington, D.C. It's at levels of safety that we've never seen before. And they decimated the bloodthirsty foreign drug cartels. We did that all by ourselves with our people, and we're so proud of it because they were poisoning and destroying our population. Drugs brought in by ocean and by sea are now down 94%. We have broken the grip of sinister woke radicals in our schools, and control over those schools is back now in the hands of our great and loving states where education belongs. After rebuilding the United States military in my first term, and with the addition we are adding right now, we have the most powerful military anywhere in the world, and it's not even close. I've restored American strength, settled 8 wars in 10 months, destroyed the Iran nuclear threat, and ended the war in Gaza, bringing for the first time in 3,000 years peace to the Middle East, and secured the release of the hostages, both living and dead. Here at home, we're bringing our economy back from the brink of ruin. The last administration and their allies in Congress looted our treasury for trillions of dollars, driving up prices and everything at levels never seen before. I am bringing those high prices down and bringing them down very fast. Let's look at the facts. Under the Biden administration, car prices rose 22%, and in many states, 30% or more. Gasoline rose 30 to 50%. Hotel rates rose 37%. Airfares rose 31%. Now, under our leadership, they are all coming down and coming down fast. Democrat politicians also sent the cost of groceries soaring, but we are solving that too. The price of a Thanksgiving turkey was down 33% compared to the Biden last year. The price of eggs is down 82% since March, and everything else is falling rapidly. And it's not done yet, but boy, are we making progress. Nobody can believe what's going on. Here are just some of the efforts that we have underway. You will see in your wallets and bank accounts in the new year. After years of record-setting falling incomes, our policies are boosting take-home pay at a historic pace. Under Biden, real wages plummeted by $3,000. Under Trump, the typical factory worker has seen a wage increase of $1,300. For construction workers, it's $1,800. For miners, we're bringing back clean, beautiful coal. It's $3,300. And for the first time in years, wages are rising much faster than inflation. Remember that. The wages, just look at it. Wages are going up much faster than inflation. How big is that? Very importantly, there are more people working today than at any time in American history, and 100% of all jobs created since I took office have been in the private sector. Think of that. 100% of all jobs have been in the private sector rather than government, which is the only way to make a country powerful and great. This historic trend will continue. Already, I've secured a record-breaking $18 trillion of investment into the United States, which means jobs, wage increases, growth, factory openings, and far greater national security. Much of this success has been accomplished by tariffs. My favorite word, tariffs, which for many decades have been used successfully by other countries against us, but not anymore. Companies know that if they build in America, there are no tariffs, and that's why they're coming home to the USA in record numbers. They're building factories and plants at levels we haven't seen, AI, automobiles. We're doing what nobody thought was even possible, not even remotely possible. There has never, frankly, been anything like it. 1 year ago, our country was dead. We were absolutely dead. Our country was ready to fail, totally failed. Now, we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. And that's said by every single leader that I've spoken to over the last 5 months. Next year, you will also see the results of the largest tax cuts in American history that were really accomplished through our great, big, beautiful bill, perhaps the most sweeping legislation ever passed in Congress. We wrapped 12 different bills up into one beautiful bill. That includes no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors. Under these cuts, many families will be saving between $11,000 and $20,000 a year, and next spring is projected to be the largest tax refund season of all time. Because of tariffs, along with the just passed One Big Beautiful Bill, tonight I am also proud to announce that more than 1,450,000, think of this, 1,450,000 military service members will receive a special, we call Warrior Dividend before Christmas, a Warrior Dividend. In honor of our nation's founding in 1776, we are sending every soldier $1,776. Think of that. And the checks are already on the way. Nobody understood that one until about 30 minutes ago. We made a lot more money than anybody thought because of tariffs, and the bill helped us along. Nobody deserves it more than our military, and I say congratulations to everybody. And by the way, we now have record enlistment in our military, and last year we had among the worst recruitment numbers in our military's history. What a difference a year makes. In addition, I'm doing what no politician of either party has ever done, standing up to the special interests to dramatically reduce the price of prescription drugs. I negotiated directly with the drug companies and foreign nations, which were taking advantage of our country for many decades, to slash prices on drugs and pharmaceuticals by as much as 400, 500, and even 600%. In other words, your drug costs will be plummeting downward. And I used the threat of tariffs to get foreign countries who would never have done it to pay the cost of this giant dollar reduction. They stopped ripping us off, and it began as of 4 days ago. There has never been anything like this in the history of our country. Drugs have only gone up, but now they'll be going down by numbers never conceived possible. It's called Most Favored Nation. And no president has ever had the courage or ability to get this done until now. The first of these unprecedented price reductions will be available starting in January through a new website, TrumpRx.gov. And these big price cuts will greatly reduce the cost of health care. I'm also taking on the gigantic health insurance companies that have gotten rich on billions of dollars of money that should go directly to the people. The money should go to the people. That's you. So they can buy their own health insurance, which will give far better benefits at much lower cost. It will be far better health insurance. The current Unaffordable Care Act was created to make insurance companies rich. It was bad health care at much too high a cost. And you see that now in the steep increase in premiums being demanded by the Democrats, and they are demanding those increases, and it's their fault. It is not the Republicans' fault. It's the Democrats' fault. It's the Unaffordable Care Act, and everybody knew it. Again, I want the money to go directly to the people so you can buy your own health care. You'll get much better health care at a much lower price. The only losers will be insurance companies that have gotten rich, and the Democrat Party, which is totally controlled by those same insurance companies. They will not be happy, but that's okay with me, because you, the people, are finally going to be getting great health care at a lower cost. Another major focus is the cost of energy. For years, the radical left Democrats exploited the green energy scam as an excuse to funnel many billions of dollars into their own massive slush funds, as their energy restrictions drastically drove up prices, and they drove them up at record levels. Electricity costs surged 30 to 100% under Biden, and the typical family lost $5,000 to $10,000 in higher energy costs. Think of that, $5,000 to $10,000 you lost. On day one, I declared a national energy emergency. Gasoline is now under $2.50 a gallon in much of the country. In some states, it, by the way, just hit $1.99 a gallon. And within the next 12 months, we will have opened 1,600 new electrical generating plants, a record, and it's a record that won't be beaten by practically, I would say, by anybody, or certainly not very soon. Prices on electricity and everything else will fall dramatically. The Democrat inflation disaster, again, the worst in the history of our country, also robbed millions of Americans of home ownership and indeed the American dream. The yearly cost of a typical new mortgage increased by $15,000 under Democrat rule. In 11 months, we've already gotten that annual cost down by $3,000, and it's coming down a lot lower. Wait till you see. The numbers are going to be shocking. And I'll soon announce our next chairman of the Federal Reserve, someone who believes in lower interest rates by a lot, and mortgage payments will be coming down even further. Early the new year, and you will see this, in the new year, I will announce some of the most aggressive housing reform plans in American history. A major factor in driving up housing costs was the colossal border invasion. We have never been invaded. This is the worst thing that, frankly, in my opinion, the worst thing that the Biden administration did to our country is the invasion at the border. The last administration and their allies in Congress brought in millions and millions of migrants and gave them taxpayer-funded housing, while your rent and housing costs skyrocketed. Over 60% of growth in the rental market came from foreign migrants. At the same time, illegal aliens stole American jobs and flooded emergency rooms, getting free health care and education paid for by you, the American taxpayer. They also increased the cost of law enforcement by numbers so high that they are not even to be mentioned. For the first time in 50 years, we are now seeing reverse migration as migrants go back home, leaving more housing and more jobs for Americans. In the year before my election, all net creation of jobs was going to foreign migrants. Since I took office, 100% of all net job creation has gone to American-born citizens, 100%. In the end, government either serves the productive, patriotic, hardworking American citizen, or it serves those who break the laws, cheat the system, and seek power and profit at the expense of our nation. Look at Minnesota, where Somalians have taken over the economics of the state and have stolen billions and billions of dollars from Minnesota and from the United States of America. And we're going to put an end to it. For so long as before my election, the vast majority of good and decent Americans were forced to watch as corrupt politicians plundered the halls of power, exploited our taxpayers, and pillaged every system that makes civilized society function. But not anymore, and you see that every day, not anymore. We're putting America first, and we are making America great again. Very simple. We are making America great again. Tonight, after 11 months, our border is secure. Inflation is stopped. Wages are up. Prices are down. Our nation is strong. America is
needs to bring down the
respected,
prices more.
and our country is back, stronger than ever before. We're poised for an economic boom, the likes of which the world has never seen. Soon we will host the World Cup and the Olympics,
That's
both of
going to
which
be
I got.
dangerous.
But most importantly, we will celebrate
That's
the
where a lot of attacks are going to
250th
happen.
anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. There could be no more fitting tribute
Because
to
you got to
this
remember, it's the
epic milestone than
250th
to
year of the
complete
United
the
States, and they're going to
comeback
want
of
to
America
attack the
that
United
began
States.
just
but
1
then-
year ago. When the world looks at us next year, let them see a nation that is loyal to its citizens, faithful to its workers, confident to its identity, certain to its destiny, and the envy of the entire globe. We are respected again like we have never been respected before. To each and every one of you, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. God bless you all.
Oh, so no declaration to Venezuela. Oh, he didn't go that route. Nice. All right. So there was no declaration. Ah, see, he knows how to play the media, man. Fucking Trump. Look, but your logo looks like my logo, Trump. I'm not saying I'm not biting anything, but look at my logo and look at the presidential logo. Holy shit. That's awesome. That was pretty close. That's wild. He did not declare war on Venezuela. So doesn't have to. Doesn't have to. Because if he has to declare war to Venezuela, I think he has to go through Congress, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, my eggs, I bought two 18 pack of eggs because they were together. There were two 18 packs for $5.82 at Walmart. I was like, what? I was paying those packs of 18 eggs during that bullshit. Let's call it that. Those eggs were like almost like $15-$20. Fucking eggs were like gold. They were holding values. Like I was like, what's going on with these hens, like chickens and stuff? It's because Biden was killing them all because they're like, oh, they got bird flu, and kill them all. Killed all the fucking birds. And the fact that there was a big fire up here not too long ago that all the fucking chickens got killed, and like that really fucked up with the system. You know, we have to depend on these chickens. We have to depend on the hen, you know, to lay those eggs. You lay those eggs, lay those eggs, lay those eggs. Because I like to eat breakfast. So and I like eggs. I like eating my animals for breakfast. You know, if you think it that way, it's kind of like, ooh, that's crazy, right? We eat abortions. We eat chicken abortions, and depends if you eat bacon, then you eat the pork, and then if you eat sausage, same shit. Unless you have beef sausages, which are good, and yeah, man, it's just no declaration, no declaration, no declaration. Thank God. I was like, I didn't want that. Like right before Christmas, Trump. Like, if we're gonna do it, he's not gonna do it right now. He's not gonna just say, you know, because he's playing mind games. Fucking Trump is such a like mind manipulator. I love it. This reminds me of The Apprentice. You know what I mean? Have you ever seen The Apprentice? The Apprentice? I fucking love it. He plays mind games, and I just feel like the whole world he has it like in his hand. He got the whole world in his hand. That's right, Bray Wyatt. Just and he really liked Trump. He Bray liked Trump, and Trump has the world in his hands, and he's like, all right, I don't need to declare anything. I haven't. Me? For what? But I like the way this image came out. This image came out like badass. It was like some Top Gun shit. And it has my show name on it with the reverse American flag because we're moving forward. Always. Let's see. $3.04. How much was the gas? Damn, I put gas today. How much was the gas? I think it was like $3.91. No, $2.91. 290 was it two? No, $2.91. Let me double check here. It was like $2.91 because the gas station. There's some areas the gas station that is cheaper. Like here is actually the regular is $3.02. So $3.02 $2.90 is the like between $3.02 and $2.90. But I know there's a gas station over here. Let me see if I can find it. That their gas is let me see how much they are. $2.69. So the lowest that I could find a place that's like $2.69 a gallon. Which in reality that's not too bad, especially for Connecticut. Fuck, that's fucking great. Yeah, I well $20 with mine's nah. It took like 25. But that 269 it's really good. It's a Citgo too. Ain't Citgo from Venezuela? Better make their prices cheaper. Yeah, I am telling you, the United States are playing mind games. They are so good. Like Trump is good at that because everybody's always anticipating. Oh my God, he's gonna make the announcement. He's gonna make the big announcement, and it was like, so let me see if there's any other things here I could like and see if there's anything about it because listen, Trump is playing for everybody. Yeah, it's just really weird, like the whole America is just a weird place in general, it's just but it looks like Bongino is gonna resign. I mean, I'm pretty sure he came across a lot of dirt and they were like not letting him do his work. You know what I mean? All right. I don't have no videos up. I thought it was gonna be something like, but there was no announcement or anything for no war. Let me see what this guy's saying.
Thought he seemed angry. Maybe something happened at the last minute, said Bonus Fact.
Let's see here.
CRT thought it could have been a post on the website or a tweet. Mark F. thought he seemed to be in a hurry. One of our viewers says, "So are we going for?" He did not mention the Venezuela as far as I heard, he didn't mention the Venezuela situation.
He did not.
Barcode says, great Christmas address. It was great.
That's a great for the military.
People thought he was yelling.
Why would you be
GTO thought it seemed rushed.
Like for the military, right? I'm so happy for them.
Mia Epsilon says he wasn't yelling. He's from NYC. He's always loud. Sam says he did a wonderful job. Michael Avery says an energy level like nothing I've seen before. Mike says Venezuela was not.
Oh, because it was about the military. I don't think.
I thought it was a great speech. Expo says it was a 20-minute waste of time.
20-minute waste of time. I don't think it was a waste of time. I mean, he did give bonus
David
to the
Johnson
military.
says he was at top volume throughout. Someone asked about Flight Radar. I just want to repeat this. For months, we have been able to regularly see on U.S. military plane. So the fact that you can see on Flight Radar 24 some military planes off the coast of Venezuela is not in and of itself. I mean, there's a war going on right now, because this has been happening regularly for the last couple months. Right now, as we showed you earlier, there are
I was just looking at it.
miles maybe off the coast of Venezuela, a couple of electronic warfare Growler aircraft, U.S. aircraft there. You can see on Flight Radar 24. Again, looks to me about maybe a couple hundred miles. But there was a fighter jet we saw before. But, you know.
And the Rhino 11.
I don't see, this is nothing out of the ordinary for the
last Rhino 11 is not here anymore.
I personally would be pretty surprised if there were an actual U.S. air attack on Venezuela going on. I would be surprised if we could see those planes on Flight Radar 24.
No.
If they would have, I don't know, what do they call it? Having their transponders turned on or whatever.
Yeah,
anyway,
you wouldn't see that.
There's nothing out of the ordinary that I can see on the face of it. I'm not an expert on that stuff, but the very fact that there's a couple of U.S. planes off the coast of Venezuela is really, that's been happening a lot over the last couple months. Let me read some more comments from you guys. Hey, thanks to Paul Doucette for your support. And Waldo thought he was rushing and angry. And let's see here. Be turned off if there was an attack going on.
Yeah, they would be turned off.
Marie Beard says, nice money to the whole military. Yes, he announced that around 1.4 million, I believe, troops would be getting a $1,776
wow,
dividend.
$1,776, 1776
something billion dollars of spending.
Wow, that is so cool.
Again, if there's some sort of any kind of legal issue with him just choosing to spend such a sum of money
on the military,
you can see Trump announces
that's a great bonus for the military.
$1,776 benefit for troops.
That's great. That could pay a month's mortgage.
Let's take some more comments from you guys. I want to hear what you had to say. What did you think of this speech?
Groceries for a month.
Let's see. Smokey thought he was pretty amped up.
That's pretty cool.
Jeff R says, old man yells at cloud. Let's see here. Karen Moore thought he sounded angry and manic. I know a lot of our viewers thought he was going to say something about Venezuela. Look, I will say this. We had a poll earlier before the speech, and I said, will there be a big surprise in the speech? And about YouTube was like half and half, and Twitch was like 60-40 yes. In my opinion, there were no big surprises in the speech. I didn't hear anything I would consider a big surprise. Happy for them, but I don't consider that a big surprise. Phyllis Druin says, I liked his speech, very informative.
Yeah, it was okay. It
One
was
of our viewers, I think, said when he announced to us.
Nah, that's for the soldiers. I mean, for the people, imagine we get $1,776 each. That'd be great, but it's only for the Americans, not for all society. You crazy? We're not going to give these immigrants a dime.
One of our
not even
viewers
a
said,
penny.
Tucker Carlson, ah ha ha ha.
We're going to give you a plane ticket.
Yeah, Tucker Carlson had said recently, am I right about this? That Tucker Carlson said recently, hold on. I was telling you about that.
Pretty soon we're gonna switch off of here, and I'm getting a lineup set up, so we'll watch him for a little bit, and then we'll continue on with the show.
Hang on, I had it right here before. It was can't find it. Yeah, hold on. I'm going to watch this so I can see right here. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Let me just listen to what he says. Hold on. Let me just listen.
I'm still setting up. So give me 1 second so I could get this all. Come on. YouTube. What is
okay, so I just watched a clip which appears to show Tucker Carlson on Judge Andrew Napolitano's podcast, and he said that he had heard that Trump was going to announce war tonight in the address. What? That's the clip I just watched.
So he decided not to? I mean,
I know some of our viewers were
I don't understand. Why would you want to start something? Why you got to be starting something? Oh, it's got to be starting something. I don't know why they starting something.
Vicky says that's what I saw.
Let's see that.
Stray Dogs and Alley Cat says maybe he chickened out.
No, it's not about.
Hey, thanks to John Posey. Also, thanks to Philip Nicholson, who says this is presidential. Daniel Adams says blah 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 nothing.
Yeah, text dividend. Yeah, I know. Whatever does that make under?
How is it? Great speech. It stated everything he has done.
Yeah, I think it was under 150.
Thought the speech was pre-recorded. John Turpin says President Trump's speech was straight to the point. Hope he gets it done.
Yeah, I gotta still keep pushing. This is only year one, you know. Year one completed. Now we got 3 more to go. Yeah, I don't trust this guy either. He just reads comments and stuff. All right, so let's keep it moving because we got other things to watch. So let me set this up and let's watch a little bit of Liberal Hive Mind.
Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. And of course, here's your meme of the day brought to you by 5mind.com. Here's a little bit of food for thought. You know, if you actually sit down and list the biggest problems that this country is facing, we're talking debt, deindustrialization, the invasion at the southern border, the drug trafficking, all the corruption, waste, fraud, and abuse in government, not to mention a financial system that seems to be hollowing out the middle class. Well, you start to realize there's only one real, honest follow-up question. And that question is, who has done more to actually confront these issues than Donald J. Trump? Name a single politician, name a single elected leader. Well, the answer is literally no one. None of these big mouth liberals going on and on about all these issues have ever screaming that Donald literally Hitler for all the indictments, for all the end of democracy tantrums. I don't know, the scoreboard on policy is starting to look pretty one-sided. The whole conversation seems a little bit backwards. How can Donald Trump be the end of democracy when he seems to be the thread that's holding it all together? Let's continue to build on this story, shall we? Once again, supposedly evil Donald Trump, well, he seems to be tackling yet again one of the country's most pressing issues, and that issue is the stacking out-of-control deficit. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on here. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so just take a look at this presentation from Donald Trump's Director of National Economic Council, Kevin Hassett.
The deficit news has been really fantastic. And it's kind of funny because for the longest time, at least like the Democratic think tanks, they'd be telling you the only thing that matters is the deficit. Well, if you look at what's happened so far this year over year, by the calendar year, we're going to see a deficit reduction of about $600 billion. Multiply that by 10 and let there be a little growth. You're looking at 7 or 8 trillion in deficit reduction over the decade because of the policies we've adopted this year. About 1/3 spending cuts, 1/3 revenue, 1/3 Laffer curve-like growth from the tax cuts. And so with that big deficit reduction, then there's lots and lots of room for inflation to go down and so on. And so my view is that the deficit reduction is a key to the health of the economy, to lower rates. And if the Supreme Court were to do something about that, we've got backup plans, but it would be disruptive for a short while. Bottom line, though, is that we're highly confident that they won't do that because in the end, there are two questions before them. One, is it an emergency? And how is it not an emergency if fentanyl's killing hundreds of thousands of people? And then the second thing is, does the language that says that we have the authority to regulate trade mean that we can use tariffs? But how else are you going to regulate trade if not with tariffs? Maybe you would say, oh, you would use quotas, but if you take quotas and auction them, then that's like a tariff. Feels like the Supreme Court won't have anything to point to toss out the case. We're pretty confident that it's going to go the way we want. But if it doesn't, we have backup plans.
I'm watching that video and I'm just thinking to myself, how is this not the biggest story in politics right now? How is this not something that is getting bipartisan celebration? What's wild is if you go back 10, 15 years, leftists themselves used to pretend that the deficit was the number one issue. Our kids, our grandkids, the national debt that continues to grow. It's immoral. That's what they used to say. But now here we are. Trump's the first guy, at least in my lifetime, to actually start tackling this issue seriously. And yet all we hear from the left is messages of doom and gloom. Make it make sense. And they keep pushing the same nonsense. Yesterday I was listening to the news and I heard a Democrat commentator suggest something like, oh, we haven't had enough time with the tariffs to really get an idea of what's going to happen. I mean, really? It's been 6 months. You would think we'd at least see a sign by now. I'm not saying it's impossible, but everything they've told us so far has been inaccurate. America's allies were supposed to ditch her. But what happened? The exact opposite happened. Donald Trump brought everybody closer together. Maybe not including China and Canada, but pretty much everybody else has gotten with the program and even invested billions upon billions of dollars into the American economy. And now we're learning the tariffs might be paying off the deficit, or at least a certain chunk of it. Yeah, I don't know who to believe anymore. I know it's a common economic stance. The tariff's bad. No matter what. But I don't like to be so closed-minded. I'm never going to deny the validity of somebody's plan or somebody's idea just because a group of economists have all said something. But again, as it stands right now, they told us tariffs were bubonic. But as we move forward, it's getting harder and harder to deny that the math, it's working. And let's not forget that it's not just the tariffs. You've got a multi-front strategy here lining up a bunch of different policy effects that all seem to be pushing the country in a positive direction. And also, I guess, just to clarify the state of mind, at this point, whatever Trump does in pursuit of his lofty goals, whatever it is, I'm pretty much for it. And all you've seen is the status quo over and over again, the same policies reenacted. Barack Obama getting elected on change and then changing absolutely nothing. Then seeing Joe Biden come in and them not enacting an agenda of reform, but rather pushing all the corruption to the extreme and destroying so many people's livelihoods. I'm open-minded to everything this administration is doing because you can actually follow the thought process. They're identifying a very concerning issue, an issue that is at the top of priority for all American citizens, regardless of political affiliation, and one by one, throughout all of these issues, they're taking multifaceted, multi-pronged approaches to try to tackle the problem. And all in all, it seems to be working. In fact, it seems to be flying in the face of whatever the experts are telling us. You know, speaking of the experts, you notice how Trump keeps outperforming their expectations? Well, this is happening on everything. It's happening with jobs, it's happening with inflation, it's happening with GDP, it's happening on the deficit.
Let's go back. The one big beautiful bill was passed on July 4th, but for working Americans, it was retroactive to the beginning of the year. Most taxpayers did not change their withholding. So as a result, we're going to see very substantial 100 to 150 billion of refunds in the first quarter go directly to Americans' pockets. So the sooner they file, the sooner they'll get them. Our estimate is it could be 1,000, 2,000 per household, depending on the number of workers.
Wow, that is a big deal. So, Secretary, you've talked about this additional money from the tax code that we're getting. And you talked about the impact of the big, beautiful bill. Like we're going to get a real economic boost for the or second quarter. What are you saying?
Yes, second quarter. And, you know, Maria, the other thing, when I started my career on Wall Street in the 80s, people used to be importing more. We're seeing the trade deficit drop too. So the trade deficit drop means more production in the U.S. So I think that's something that economists are going to have to start looking at again, thanks to President Trump after 40 years.
Yes, October and November for the big jobs report. The only thing is it's not Friday. Here we go. November's number comes in at 64,000. 64,000 on non-farm. And if we look at average hourly earnings, they are up 0.1% year over year, up 3.5.
Across the board, they're beating expectations, and this comes with Democrats trying to kneecap the economy by shutting down the government. And honestly, we've reached a point where even the doomsayers, well, I think they're starting to smell the coffee, and even the mainstream media actors are now starting to kind of hint towards the idea that, you know, maybe, just maybe, the Trump administration's policies might mature here and have a positive impact.
Some certainty around tariffs. We just never knew what they were going to be because there's so much flux. So hopefully that calms down. And also we have a lot of the sort of corporate tax credits finally coming along from big, beautiful bill. So we might see a bit of a sort of uptick in hiring hopefully next year as sort of all this sort of expansionary policy takes shape. And hopefully we have some more certainty around the tariffs.
I guess we could translate what she said there by, well, you know, we told you that everything would be a disaster. But it seems as though actually it's kind of working, but we don't want to admit that just yet. What's it going to take for this president to get some frickin' credit? You know, you stack it all up. The NGO racket pretty much shut down and exposed. Jobs and GDP seem to be going in the right direction. All of this, I mean, just tackling the border crisis should be enough to get mass praise, but Trump has done that and so much more. And yet, for some reason, they want to convince you that he's the devil. I don't know. To me, he seems like the only worthwhile politician. The Fed identify issues and then try to actually do something about it in good faith. When have you ever seen a politician meet that very basic standard? Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.
Awesome. Great upload there. It's true, man. They'll boo you. They'll boo you if you do good. They'll boo you when you do bad. It doesn't matter. You still get booed. Trust me. Ask Jesus. He'll tell you he got booed and he had stones and sticks and a whole bunch of shit thrown at him. Did they give a fuck about him? Did the Jewish people give a fuck about him? No, they didn't. Did the Romans give a fuck about him? No, they didn't. Okay. I'm telling you, man, everything's all a psyop, man. Everything, they're playing with your brains. That's what they're doing. This is like you guys are just like, we're all just one big experiment. You know, mind control. MK Ultra on full effect. Now they want to bring in 6G. How many more G's will we need? I want more G's in my pocket. I want more G's in my bank. How about that? Here it is. I got some breaking news here. Let's see what we got here. I'm setting up the show because I'm already done. Trump really like adjusted, the show because that was live, so kind of like threw the show off for a little bit. But I got everything lined up for the show, so all right. Let me see the flight. Anything tracking? Nah, everything looks quiet. People that bring news. Yeah, is he gonna then that's why I tell you, is war going to be declared tonight against Venezuela? Question mark. Because that was like the energy that they were trying to project, and I'm like, I wasn't feeling it because why would you do that before Christmas? You know what I mean? Like, why would you like? I would if I was gonna start a war, I would do it like probably like the 3rd of January. Sometime around there, not right before Christmas. That's that. People are just need to calm down. Calm down. We all gotta calm down. All right, let's watch this.
Dan Bongino, Deputy FBI Director. We are learning in like the last literally 8 minutes, he is leaving that position.
Yes.
After some tensions, in part, right, around some of this stuff. Talk us through this.
Yeah, I mean, that was, and he's sort of commented on this in Fox News.
And by the way, this is his tweet or whatever online X post in the last, you can see it. I mean, in the last 6 minutes here, 9 minutes about this too.
Real breaking news. But yeah, when he started out before he came to DOJ, he was in this sort of podcast realm, and he was saying a lot of sort of really inflammatory things and making a lot of suggestions that weren't necessarily backed up by evidence. And then, when he came into the Justice Department, or the FBI, one of the first things that he really leaned in on was the pipe bomber case. And I think that that's something that he sort of will now try to take credit for and say, we got
related
this
to January 6th. Right.
Exactly. But, what got him interested in that was that he was fueling these conspiracy theories about the pipe bomb, that maybe this was a government setup. So it is just fascinating, as you're pointing out, to have these individuals who are very into these conspiracy theories then sort of getting inside and being like, well, maybe this wasn't exactly what I thought it was from the outside.
He didn't even last a year in this position, though. Is that unusual to see the deputy director leave after that shorter period?
It's unusual to have a podcaster in there in the first place in that position. And I think that, certainly it's usually a person who is a career employee who knows what's going on, but certainly it's a very lucrative other side of the bar here. He's not making a huge salary right now as the deputy director or co-deputy director. He's going to make a lot of money when he goes back to the podcast.
Well, he is. I was just pulling this up because President Trump, I want to make sure I get this quote right on my computer over here, that President Trump was asked just a little bit ago, did Dan Bongino tell you why he's leaving the FBI? And the president said, he did a great job. I think he wants to go back to his show.
Yeah.
He wants to get back to the podcast.
And his family. He's also, that's been a theme ongoing, that he's been away from them, but the money doesn't hurt.
We thank you for watching.
Yeah, I mean, the money doesn't hurt. Money's great as a podcaster, especially the amount of people that he had on his show. Like, he had a lot of people, and the sponsorship and all that stuff. That's he walked away to help the FBI, but that place is a shit show. It's a shit show. Everybody is all corrupt. All those people, like, the best thing to do is to shut the whole organization down. Start from scratch, because right now that place is just it's all foul. It's all foul. Let's keep it moving. Got a little Jimmy Dore here. Let's check this out.
When I took office, inflation was the worst in 48 years.
You want him to big screen it?
And some would say in the history of our country, which caused prices to be higher.
Oh, I'm going to rewatch it.
Making life unaffordable.
I'm going to watch it with Jimmy Dore.
Millions and millions of Americans. This happened during a Democrat administration, and it's when we first began hearing the word affordability. Our border was open, and because of this, our country was being invaded by an army of 25 million people many who came from prisons and jails, mental institutions, and insane asylums. They were drug dealers, gang members, and even 11,888 murderers, more than 50% of whom killed more than one person. This is what the Biden administration allowed to happen to our country, and it can never be allowed to happen again. We had men playing in women's sports, transgender for everybody, crime at record levels with law enforcement, and words such as that just absolutely forbidden. We had the worst trade deals ever made, and our country was laughed at from all over the world, but they're not laughing anymore. Over the past 11 months, we have brought more positive change to Washington than any administration in American history. There's never been anything like it, and I think most would agree. I was elected in a landslide, winning the popular vote and all 7 swing states and everything else, with a mandate to take on a sick and corrupt system that really just took the wealth from people and crushed the dreams of the American people. For the last 4 years, the United States was ruled by politicians who fought only for insiders, illegal aliens, career criminals, corporate lobbyists, prisoners, terrorists, and above all, foreign nations, which took advantage of us at levels never seen before. They flooded your cities and towns with illegal aliens. They decimated your hard-earned savings. They indoctrinated your children with hate for America. They just released a level of violent felons that we had never seen to prey on innocent. They caused war. They caused mayhem. They caused a horrible situation all over the globe. But now you have a president who fights for the law-abiding, hardworking people of our country, the ones who make this nation run, who make this nation work. And after just 1 year, we have achieved more than anyone could have imagined. Starting on day one, I took immediate action to stop the invasion of our southern border. For the past 7 months, 0 illegal aliens have been allowed into our country, a feat which everyone said was absolutely impossible. Do you remember when Joe Biden said that he needed Congress to pass legislation to help close the border? He was always blaming Congress and everyone else. As it turned out, we didn't need legislation. We just needed a new president. We inherited the worst border anywhere in the world, and we quickly turned it into the strongest border in the history of our country. In other words, in a few short months, we went from worst to best. We're deporting criminals, restoring safety to our most dangerous cities. Just take a look at Washington, D.C. It's at levels of safety that we've never seen before. And they decimated the bloodthirsty foreign drug cartels. We did that all by ourselves with our people, and we're so proud of it because they were poisoning and destroying our population. Drugs brought in by ocean and by sea are now down 94%. We have broken the grip of sinister woke radicals in our schools, and control over those schools is back now in the hands of our great and loving states where education belongs. After rebuilding the United States military in my first term, and with the addition we are adding right now, we have the most powerful military anywhere in the world, and it's not even close. I've restored American strength, settled 8 wars in 10 months, destroyed the Iran nuclear threat, and ended the war in Gaza, bringing for the first time in 3,000 years peace to the Middle East, and secured the release of the hostages, both living and dead. Here at home, we're bringing our economy back from the brink of ruin. The last administration and their allies in Congress looted our treasury for trillions of dollars, driving up prices and everything at levels never seen before. I am bringing those high prices down and bringing them down very fast. Let's look at the facts. Under the Biden administration, car prices rose 22% and in many states 30% or more. Gasoline rose 30 to 50%. Hotel rates rose 37%. Airfares rose 31%. Now, under our leadership, they are all coming down and coming down fast. Democrat politicians also sent the cost of groceries soaring, but we are solving that too. The price of a Thanksgiving turkey was down 33% compared to the Biden last year. The price of eggs is down 82% since March, and everything else is falling rapidly. And it's not done yet, but boy, are we making progress. Nobody can believe what's going on. Here are just some of the efforts that we have underway. You will see in your wallets and bank accounts in the new year. After years of record-setting falling incomes, our policies are boosting take-home pay at a historic pace. Under Biden, real wages plummeted by $3,000. Under Trump, the typical factory worker is seeing a wage increase of $1,300. For construction workers, it's $1,800. For miners, we're bringing back clean, beautiful coal. It's $3,300. And for the first time in years, wages are rising much faster than inflation. Remember that rate, the wage, just look at it. Wages are going faster than inflation. How big is that? Very importantly, there are more people working today than at any time in American history, and 100% of all jobs created since I took office have been in the private sector. Think of that. 100% of all jobs have been in the private sector rather than government, which is the only way to make a country powerful and great. This historic trend will continue. Already, I've secured a record-breaking $18 trillion of investment into the United States, which means jobs, wage increases, growth, factory openings, and far greater national security. Much of this success has been accomplished by tariffs. My favorite word, tariffs, which for many decades have been used successfully by other countries against us, but not anymore. Companies know that if they live in America, there are no tariffs. And that's why they're coming home to the USA in record numbers. They're building factories and plants at levels we haven't seen. AI, automobiles. We're doing what nobody thought was even possible, not even remotely possible. There's never, frankly, been anything like it. 1 year ago, our country was dead. We were absolutely dead. Our country was ready to fail, totally failed. Now, we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. And that's said by every single leader that I've spoken to over the last 5 months.
Shut up.
Next year, you will also see the results of the largest tax cuts in American history that were really accomplished through our great big.
We still got a lot of work to do because it's not that great here in Connecticut. The groceries is still a little high up here. You gotta understand, this is run by Democrats.
Beautiful bill that includes no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors. Under these cuts, many families will be saving between $11,000 and $20,000 a year, and next spring is projected to be the largest tax refund season of all time. Because of tariffs, along with the just passed One Big Beautiful Bill, tonight I am also proud to announce that more than 1,450,000, think of this, 1,450,000 military service members will receive a special, we call Warrior Dividend before Christmas, a Warrior Dividend. In honor of our nation's founding in 1776, we are sending every soldier $1,776. Think of that. And the checks are already on the way. Nobody understood that one until about 30 minutes ago. We made a lot more money than anybody thought because of tariffs, and the bill
Even
helped
just hearing
us
it for the
along.
second time, it's
Nobody
like, wow.
deserves it more than our military, and I say congratulations to everybody. And by the way, we now have record enlistment in our military, and last year we had among the worst recruitment numbers in our military's history. What a difference a year makes. In addition, I'm doing what no politician of either party has ever done, standing up to the special interests to dramatically reduce the price of prescription drugs. I negotiated directly with the drug companies and foreign nations, which were taking advantage of our country for many decades, to slash prices on drugs and pharmaceuticals by as much as 400, 500, and even 600%. In other words, your drug costs will be plummeting downward. And I used the threat of tariffs to get foreign countries who would never have done it to pay the cost of this giant dollar reduction. They stopped ripping us off, and it began as of 4 days ago. There has never been anything like this in the history of our country. Drugs have only gone up, but now they'll be going down by numbers never conceived possible. It's called Most Favored Nation, and no president has ever had the courage or ability to get this done until now. The first of these unprecedented price reductions will be available starting in January through a new website, TrumpRx.gov. And these big price cuts will greatly reduce the cost of health care. I'm also taking on the gigantic health insurance companies that have gotten rich on billions of dollars of money that should go directly to the people. The money should go to the people. That's you. So they can buy their own health insurance, which will give far better benefits at much lower costs. It will be far better health insurance. The current Unaffordable Care Act was created to make insurance companies rich. It was bad health care at much too high a cost. And you see that now in the steep increase in premiums being demanded by the Democrats, and they are demanding those increases, and it's their fault. It is not the Republicans' fault. It's the Democrats' fault. It's the Unaffordable Care Act, and everybody knew it. Again, I want the money to go directly to the people so you can buy your own health care. You'll get much better health care at a much lower price.
What are you talking about?
The only losers will be insurance companies that have gotten rich, and the Democrat Party, which is totally controlled by those same insurance companies. They will not be happy, but that's okay with me, because you, the people, are finally going to be getting great health care at a lower cost. Another major focus is the cost of energy.
Why do we need insurance
For
companies?
years, the radical left Democrats exploited the green energy scam as an excuse to funnel many billions of dollars into their own massive slush funds, as their energy restrictions drastically drove up prices, and they drove them up at record levels. Electricity costs surged 30 to 100% under Biden, and the typical family lost $5,000 to $10,000 in higher energy costs. Think of that, $5,000 to $10,000 you lost. On day one, I declared a national energy emergency. Gasoline is now under $2.50 a gallon in much of the country. In some states, it, by the way, just hit $1.99 a gallon. And within the next 12 months, we will have opened 1,600 new electrical generating plants, a record, and it's a record that won't be beaten by practically, I would say, by anybody, or certainly not very soon. Prices on electricity and everything else will fall dramatically. The Democrat inflation disaster, again, the worst in the history of our country, also robbed millions of Americans of home ownership and indeed the American dream. The yearly cost of a typical new mortgage increased by $15,000 under Democrat rule. In 11 months, we've already gotten that annual cost down by $3,000, and it's coming down a lot lower. Wait till you see. The numbers are going to be shocking. And I'll soon announce our next chairman of the Federal Reserve, someone who believes in lower interest rates by a lot, and mortgage payments will be coming down even further. Early the new year, and you will see this, in the new year, I will announce some of the most aggressive housing reform plans in American history. A major factor in driving up housing costs was the colossal border invasion. We have never been invaded. This is the worst thing that, frankly, in my opinion, the worst thing that the Biden administration did to our country is the invasion at the border. The last administration and their allies in Congress brought in millions and millions of migrants and gave them taxpayer-funded housing, while your rent and housing costs skyrocketed. Over 60% of growth in the rental market came from foreign migrants. At the same time, illegal aliens stole American jobs and flooded emergency rooms, getting free health care and education paid for by you, the American taxpayer. They also increased the cost of law enforcement by numbers so high that they are not even to be mentioned. For the first time in 50 years, we are now seeing reverse migration as migrants go back home, leaving more housing and more jobs for Americans. In the year before my election, all net creation of jobs was going to foreign migrants. Since I took office, 100% of all net job creation has gone to American-born citizens, 100%. In the end, government either serves the productive, patriotic, hardworking American citizen, or it serves those who break the laws, cheat the system, and seek power and profit at the expense of our nation. Look at Minnesota, where Somalians have taken over the economics of the state and have stolen billions and billions of dollars from Minnesota and indeed from the United States of America. And we're going to put an end to it. For so long as before my election, the vast majority of good and decent Americans were forced to watch as corrupt politicians plundered the halls of power, exploited our taxpayers, and pillaged every system that makes civilized society function. But not anymore, and you see that every day, not anymore. We're putting America first, and we are making America great again. Very simple. We are making America great again. Tonight, after 11 months, our border is secure. Inflation is stopped. Wages are up. Prices are down. Our nation is strong. America is respected. And our country is back, stronger than ever before. We're poised for an economic boom, the likes of which the world has never seen. Soon we will host the World Cup and the Olympics, both of which I got. But most importantly, we're the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. There could be no more fitting tribute to this epic milestone than to complete the comeback. Looks at us next year. Let them see a nation that is loyal to its citizens, faithful to its workers, confident to its identity, certain to its destiny, and the envy of the entire globe. We are respected again like we have never been respected before. To each and every one of you, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. God bless you all.
Yeah.
So that was it. I thought the reason why I stuck around because I thought he was going to announce an invasion into Venezuela before Christmas, but I guess I was wrong. But the reason why he's doing this is because he's tanking in the polls, and that stuff he was saying about lowering the cost of health care and health insurance, that is some slinging bullshit there, boy. Because what's going to happen, because the big beautiful bill took away people's ACA subsidies, their health insurance.
Yeah, a lot of people are going to be fucked.
So now people are their health insurance costs are going to skyrocket.
Yeah.
And
but who are you going to blame?
MAGA.
That's not.
And Steve Bannon said on this show.
That's not Trump's fault.
They went at it with a meat cleaver instead of a scalpel, and so that's what Trump is doing. And Trump's numbers are cratering. Remember this? I showed you this.
That's
NBC. You know, Donald Trump put in the best performance for Republican
that's CNN.
Among young voters since
Jimmy.
George W. Bush did back in the early 2000s. Jimmy? And you know, he started off his term, his net approval rating among voters
Jimmy
under
Dore
the age
watches
of 30
CNN.
at plus 10 points. Hey, that's pretty gosh darn good. But you come over now, according to CBS News YouGov, this isn't falling into the water. This isn't going into now. This is going into a deep, dark, black hole. Look at that, minus 46 points. That is a shift on the net approval of 56 points in the wrong direction since February. My goodness gracious, you know I love looking at these swings, looking how the electorate changes. You rarely ever see swings.
We look at a lot of polls. We almost never see drops.
Who takes polls? Have you ever been polled before?
Any sense of why? What issues may be driving it?
You know, look, we've been talking about it. You were talking about it last segment with Mr. Matt Egan. It's the economy, stupid. Just take a look here. Age 18 to 29 on Trump and the economy. Back in October of 2024, who did those under the age of 30 trust? Harris or Trump? It was Trump by 10 points, according to the Marquette University Law School poll. Look at where his net approval rating is now on the economy. Minus 50 2 points.
So that's why he's doing this, because he's tanking faster than any president we've ever seen's numbers tank.
I don't know about
And
that.
people like Marjorie Taylor Greene are telling you the truth. Tucker Carlson are telling you the truth. His kid can't afford a house.
Well, nobody
They're working
can.
full time. They can't afford down
But
payment
that's
for a
not
house.
Trump's
They can't afford
fault.
their health care. They can't
Trump's
afford
only
a
been in office
mortgage.
for 11 months.
That's what. So
11
that's
months.
why
You
he did
expect
this
him
tonight.
to drop
And,
everything?
I'm sorry for making
That doesn't
people
work
think-
that way,
I thought-
Jimmy.
So I think he probably
he knows
didn't
better.
declare war on Venezuela just to piss off Tucker Carlson. That's what Keaton Weiss told me. But we'll see. So that's what I thought was coming. I thought the big announcement tonight was a war with Venezuela. That's why I stuck around. That was just a bullshit. He should have just, Misha said he should have just said this on Truth Social. I agree. But whatever, he did it. That's that. Sorry to waste everybody's time. Okay. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. See you on Friday.
Jimmy should know better, okay? And this is why I watch it, because we have to watch it. We have to, we always got to keep close eyes on both sides. You know what I mean? You can't just block them out and just not pay attention to them and not know what they're doing behind the scenes. So it's like I want to feel how their brain is maneuvering, right? And Jimmy should know better that Trump, it's only been in office for 11 months. 11 months. It took Biden 4 years to throw this country into fucking chaos, right? And Trump has to clean up 4 years in 11 months? Are you kidding me? Oh, because this guy's kid can't buy a house. Well, fuck. Nobody can fucking buy a house at this point. There's too many illegals here in this country. Sign the fucking Insurrection Act and get all these illegals out of here. And then there'll be plenty of homes to rent. There'll be plenty that all the rent will start coming down. Oh, that was a quick solution, Rick. How did you come up with that answer to that impossible mission? Like, it's like a mission impossible. Easy. Get rid of the illegals, send them back home. They could take this jet right here. If they want, they could park their asses somewhere like back here, and we'll send them back to their country. And you'll see the prices of groceries go down, gas will go down, everything, rent will go down, taxes will be more stable because it's Americans that are doing all the works, and everything that's coming up is going to the Americans, not just immigrants that are coming here illegally and working under the table, that it's pretty much stealing money from us. Because all that money in circulation belongs to us, the people. I'm just saying. Oh, goodness gracious. I hope everyone's having a good night. It's like, it's fucking crazy. MS Now was, MSNBC is, make me want to throw up. But the other side don't cover shit. Yeah, it's like, but we always have to pay attention. That's the thing, We always have to pay attention, even to the stuff we don't want to listen to, because you see how the dramatic, when they were saying the numbers, oh my God, look at this, 50% down. Oh my God. Ah. What? Listen, I woke up, took a shit, had a great day today. I felt no change. I lived my life. I had fun. Tomorrow, I'm gonna actually. I got tickets to go see Avatar: The Fire and Ash, so I'm gonna go watch that tomorrow in 3D, and I'm gonna have a great. And it's the first showing too, because it's at 2:15 tomorrow, and I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna be the first to watch it. The movie doesn't come out until Friday, but yeah, I get to see it a day early. I get to see it a day early and the first show too. So I'm ready. I'm gonna sleep really good tonight. I hope nothing happens with my head tonight, and I can't wait to go back to Pandora tomorrow. Fire and Ash. It's gonna be. I hope it's gonna be good. I hope Disney doesn't fuck it up. The train of troop is here. When I said Disney's gonna fuck it up, oh no! Please don't fuck up Pandora. My back has been hurting all day. Yeah, mine's too, bro. My back, my from my back to my legs, I've been feeling weird. Like there's like this nerve that's shooting pain downwards down to my feet. That's been very bothersome. So that's been bothering me. And that pain in my fucking head, that pain, that shooting pain that I'm sleeping and all of a sudden I have like this shooting pain and I wake up. I wake up and I'm like, fuck. And then I end up falling back to sleep. And then sometimes it let me sleep or sometimes it'll do it again. And it's like, boom. I'm like, fuck, what the hell's going on, man? Most likely I may have to have maybe brain surgery, right? Who knows? At this point, they played operation on me. They already messed with me already. Might as well go for my brain, right? Maybe they're sending a signal through Wi-Fi at night, and they're like saying too much truth. Zap him. He can't tell everyone everything. Nobody's watching. That's good. Don't show his channel to nobody. All right, let's do that. You know, because only a certain people could watch. And they zap my brain as punishment every night through Wi-Fi. Don't get it twisted. They could probably do that. They could probably use your cell phone to do it too. It's crazy, you know. But it's a sharp pain in my head. It is very concerning, though. I am just. It's like I need a break. When you need a break, I need a Snickers. I need a break. I just want things to get better with my brain. That's all. I don't want that sharp pain. Oh man, that just sucks. All right, let's continue on with the show. We got a couple of more things to watch, so let's keep it moving. The next ones are gonna be shorts. So we're gonna watch some shorts. So we got three shorts, and then I got some more stuff for us to watch. Yeah, the train of truth is here again. All right, so let me go ahead and set this up. Let's go ahead and kick this out. And I like the fake out that Trump did. He's like, "Fuck! Don't let out that. Don't give that information. You're playing chess. These people are playing chess, and he's playing fucking like they're playing checkers. He's playing chess. So he's one move ahead of us. He's like, yeah, have him think like this, but I'm doing like that. You know. So Trump is a very good mastermind for sure. Wouldn't want to play poker against him. Hell no. Hell no. But let's go ahead and watch this. Got a couple of them to watch, so let's just get right to it.
Story of the year, left-wing hobgoblin yells at old grandmother, 72 years old, named Jeannie in Target. Her crime was wearing a Charlie Kirk shirt with an American flag.
Oh yeah, we reported this yesterday.
And Jeannie was harassed, berated, and called terrible names and slurs.
Are you stupid? No. Why the would you wear that? You're at work at Target. You support a racist.
It's not racist.
This is going to be taken above your.
But this story has a happy ending, as Jeannie now has over $100,000 in the Give, Send, Go. We hope that you will be encouraged to donate. We certainly have been. This will send Jeannie on a great vacation, maybe allow for an early retirement because she's 72 and working in retail at Target. Dignity for all people, but maybe she has some grandkids that she wants to spend time with. She is a grandmother. Also, Jeannie's been invited to speak at America Fest for Turning Point USA. And the
Oh,
hobgoblin
wow.
that was harassing her is now being investigated by the police. And her company
Nice.
is saying, well, we're going to wait to see what that investigation shows. And
Karma's
she may not
a
be working here
bitch.
anymore. So we can win. Merry Christmas. Feel good story.
If we can. Oh my God, they raised over $100,000. Oh, remember we watched that yesterday? That was the last one because I was like, wait a minute, let's watch this because I was gonna end the show. Remember? And I was like, no, I think I got because we watched Tyson, and I thought I was gonna end the show with Tyson, but then I saw this one story. I was like, yeah, we gotta watch this story. For some reason, it's calling me, right? So I put on the story. I'm like, oh, and we saw the whole thing, and wow, that was fucking crazy. The way she just dressed her down, and then we like telling her that Charlie Kirk was racist, and all, Charlie Kirk was not fucking racist. People are so it's this. I can't. But over $100,000. Damn, she won the lottery. The sciatica. Ugh. I hope I'm not getting it. I hope so. I hope not. Does sciatica attack the brain? It might be attacking my leg, but does it attack the fucking brain? I fucking deal with pain every fucking day, man. Yeah. Yeah, it could be sciatica. Yeah. You're right. But it's a fucking weird, funky, like you feel it like in the back of your hamstring, like in the back of your knee, and then it like shoots down to the bottom like of your foot. But you feel it in your ankle too. Fucking crazy, man. Fucking crazy. Damn. Oh no. We need to get Benny Johnson to help Terry. Say, listen, Terry's an American. He's fucking working and he's busting his ass and he has problems too. Hook him up. He works at Walgreens. He found me some Pokemon cards. Oh, talking about fucking Pokemon cards. Look, there's Pokemon cards all around the desk. I lit up the here. I found some loose. I found the tin cans, and I found 7. Actually, they had a whole bunch, but I ended up getting 7 Pokemon Destined Rivals. So I got 7 Destined Rivals. I have 3 of the Mega Evolution over here, and then I got some tin cans. You can see they're at the desk, so you probably can't really see it. Let me see if I make. Let me see if my screen is big. I could probably see it. Yeah, you can see them. They're right next to the "Be Kind" sign right here. There's a tin can right here, and then this is a great desk. Be like, look, start searching for Pokemon cards and see how many I have. Here's another tin down there. Here's another like a booster pack over here. Another booster pack right there. You got the 3 Mega Evolutions. Got another Pokemon over here. The tin can next to my mask. You got another Pokemon over there. A couple of 2 over there. The tree has Pokemon cards on it. I don't know if you realized it, but there's one right here. There's one right here right on the tree. That's what I wanted. I wanted to decorate for the holidays. It's like I'm putting my gifts here to give me luck, and hopefully bless me with a gold card. Oh my god, that would be so awesome. If I could get like a gold, probably like a I would say like a Mega Charizard in gold. Oh my god. That would be I would be so happy. I will grade it too. I know I'm going to have to pay out of my pocket to get that graded, but yeah. Yeah, I know. Well, I have to go up there, so yeah, we had to plan that, but and those over there, those are with the Scarlet and Violet. Which one was those again? I know you sent me the picture. I always fucking forget. Not always forget. It's just like I got so much shit going on. I have it here. I have to go to Discord because I know you sent me the picture. I saw you. Oh, you saw the picture I sent you, Terry, with all the Pokemon tins. They're at 11.89. The tins. I ended up buying 3 tins. I didn't want to go like crazy because if I wanted to, but it's like there was a lot. There was a lot. It was stacked. I know it's not going to be there for long, and they hid it. They hid it behind a display that it was like hard to see because you're walking by, and if you don't pass by that area, you wouldn't have seen it. Like I walked by and I was like, oh man, I wanted to get me some cookies. So like Christmas cookies. I love the shortbread Christmas cookies. Fuck. So I swung back and I went in to like the little cupboard area and I got my cookies. And then I was coming around, and as I was coming around, I looked to the right. There's a fucking display there where all the Pokemon like tins. I was like, oh, like my heart was like, dun-dun-dun-dun. You know when you get like the heart from Zelda. I feel like I got a heart from Zelda. I was like, oh my god, look at all the tins. And they say you could collect 5. There's like 5 different like figures on the tins. I ended up just getting 3. I should have gotten the set, but fuck it. But oh yeah, that's the hold on. Plasma flames. Yeah, the plasma flames. That one I saw. I don't think did. I see them, and that's part of the mega evolutions. But that's a section. Phantasma flames. Um, I'm interested in that set. Because that's one of the newer sets. This one's an older set, like the Destined Rivals, and that one I seen people selling them already online for like $10 to $12 a pack. And I'm like, I pay $5 for a pack, so I could easily double my money. But if I hold on to it for 10 years, that price goes up. So cheap. It's like put the money now, forget about it, and 10 years later, it's gonna have so much value that you have a little profit there, but you have to like buy it and forget about it. Not me. I have it right in the front. It's just like giving it good energy. And plus, it's kind of like a Where's Waldo type of game. It's like, yeah, count how many like packs I have. Good luck. Try to catch them all. You're like, oh my god, there's so many everywhere. It's like, yep, gotta catch them all. Let's see. Scarlet and Violet. Yeah, it's part of the Scarlet and Violet, but it's Phantasmal Flames. Well, they probably put it under the receipt. So your inventory is wrong because if the register is coming up Scarlet and Violet, then it's wrong because it's Mega Evolutions, and that's the Phantasmal Flame. Those are a newer deck, so that means your system is not updated to that name on the register. You know what I mean? So someone probably didn't do the change, but I'm pretty sure that's easy to do. Because it's ringing up wrong. Because it's not Scarlet and Violet. I have Scarlet and Violet somewhere on here. If I'm not mistaken, the Destined Rivals are Scarlet and Violet. See, that's one. That's the newer one because I have the when the Mega Evolutions came out. I have three decks, and now with the now Phantasmal Flames. Now there's another one that's going to be coming out because I think Pokemon is doing the big celebration, whatever they're having next year. They're supposed to have like some big celebration. I think it was on February something. I think like when Pokemon started, whatever. And I think they're gonna have some kind of like something. I think at GameStop. Would I want to buy anything at GameStop? I don't think so. But I have a hookup at Walgreens, so okay, so nothing to do with the Walgreens. Yeah, so they have it wrong in their system. It might has to go up from the up, but it's not Scarlet and Violet. But hey, it's the same price. That's why they probably didn't change it because it's the same price. But inventory wise, it's wrong. That's wrong. But it looks so cool. The like the car, like the package. I like how it looks. I want like the Mega Charizard. Like if I get the Mega Charizard in gold, or any of them in gold, any card. I'm like Austin Powers. I love gold. What was it? The one that loves gold, the gold member. I like Austin Powers. I like the movies. It's pretty funny. And that was one movie you look forward to the sequels. You know what I mean? That was one weird one that the sequels weren't that bad. And that's good because a lot of movies, when they have sequels, suck. And Austin, like the Austin Powers, like franchise, man, is good. A lot of the are not alive anymore. Like Meaning Me is not around, but it was a really good movie. I like it. I probably watch it. I'll probably watch it later. You should be like on a show. You should have like how they have like Superstore, like the Super Center, I think was it it's like it's a show. You should have your own show, like dealing with the daily, dramas and daily life. You could do like a documentary, life in the northwest side of Connecticut, literally in the corner. Who put y'all in the corner? You're in the corner. You're so close to two other states. You got New York and Massachusetts. There you are. And you got the good section because that's where it snows a lot too. So you guys always get more snow because it's in the northern west side. You got more trees up there too, which is great. It's great air up there for sure. Some nice parks and nice streams. I love waterfalls, so there's a nice areas up there in the northwest side of Connecticut. But let's see. Let's go on to the next video here. Oh yeah, remember the special needs? Oh, do I want to see that again? We already saw that special needs. I don't want to see that again. That was horrible. That was disgusting. But I'm happy that the Target employee, and I hope they do something for that little boy. You know, it's like he you know what, something he probably said something, like the guy says something and he responded back like with the N-word, you know? But was the kid wrong? I don't think he was wrong, you know, because that guy really like was really stupid, you know, especially from adult. And you got a special needs kid, you know. How about if that kid? How about if this say if maybe if that kid was black and he said the N word, were you gonna go crazy on him too, or are you gonna laugh and be like, "Oh shit! Look at this kid! Look what he's saying. Say it again." You know what I mean? So like, it just sucks because that's always gonna be now. Anything you put in the internet is forever. You guys need to understand this. Anything and everything you put in the internet is forever. You can't delete anything. It all gets recorded and it all gets sent to a server at a facility, and they hold all these memories and all these videos. Everybody is being recorded. Everything. Anything you type, anything you text, any conversation you have, anything, your devices are very nosy. They listen to everything and they have no shame. And they do it right under your nose. So be careful how you talk around your phone. I could post driving videos up here. Yeah. Dude, it's beautiful up there. Dude, if you get like you know how they have the cameras for the car? Like, oh, I wanted to get that. I forgot. Oh, that was one thing I wanted to get on Black Friday. I forgot about it. Now that you mentioned that, because I wanted to get a camera to put on the front and one for the rear. And I wanted to do video, like drive and go up, like up to the northwest and go up through New Hampshire, up through Vermont. Like, that's a nice little road trip. Like, for that, I'll definitely like rent a car. I'll rent a car and put the cameras and go for a few days and go on a nice little road trip and get away for like 3 days. You know, stay at a hotel and then continue the drive and just record, you know, and then just upload it. You know, people will watch. Some people will watch. But I like doing those, like I like going to like upstate New York. I like the drive going over there. There's really nice like rest stops that I like to stop at, and I always stop at. And it's this time of the year I don't trust it because of the, you know, you got to really pay attention to the weather. You know, make sure there's no storm or snowstorm coming. You know, don't go throwing yourself out there and you have a damn winter storm coming. That's not smart. Stay ass home. The dash cam. Yeah, you have a dash cam. That's so cool. Oh, you have the backup one? Yeah. The backup one is important too. Because you could film like from the back. It looks nice from the back when you're like, and then you see the cars and see what they're doing back there. All right, what's this one? Let's watch this. Let's see if this puts some fear into our hearts. It's like fear to your hearts. Yeah, let's see. Ooh. Oh no. You heard that?
As we're coming back to Los Angeles, we continue to have the fuel problem. But on the way below 10,000 feet or so, which is about 4 minutes before landing, our left engine decided to quit. So, but the right engine was great. We had a nice, eventful, nice, smooth landing. So I've been flying 35 years. This is my first engine failure.
Holy
That's
shit.
very
And he landed. Look. Oh my god. You hear him shutting the engine down? And they're landing.
As we're coming back to Los Angeles, we continue to have the fuel problem. But on the way below 10,000 feet or so, which is about 4 minutes before landing, our left engine decided to quit. So, but the right engine was great. We had a nice, eventful, nice, smooth landing. So I've been flying 35 years. This is my first engine failure.
Holy
That's
shit.
a very rare situation.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Fuck that shit. I'm not getting on a plane for a while still. I don't feel like getting on a motherfucking plane. I would love to, but I don't trust their maintenance right now. Let me set this up. Why is this fucking weird? Weird. Hold on, let me fix this. There we go. Much better. All right, so let's see. What can we do next? Okay, we got this one. So let me set this up. Erica. Yeah, let me resize it here. Let's watch.
Are you taking responsibility, or are you giving them a device and saying, go down that rabbit hole? I'm trying to go to Pilates class. Do you want your kid to be a thought leader or an assassin?
What is she talking about? So Candace Owens just had her 4.5-hour meeting with one Erica Kirk, and she says that the temperature has now cooled down, and she said that the meeting was very productive. Let's just directly read what she said. Quote, Erica and I had an extremely productive 4.5-hour meeting that I think we both feel should have taken place a lot earlier than it did. We agreed much more than I had anticipated. Of course, we also disagreed on various points and people as well. Most importantly, we were able to share intel and clarify intent. But the question is, can you actually trust the information Erica Kirk is giving you? For example, Candace posted these Mikey McCoy call logs yesterday, but the question is, can we trust it? Because according to some of these timestamps, a bunch of people are lying. Right, it says 12:24. Mikey McCoy calls Elizabeth McCoy, that's his wife, and will stay on the phone with her for 10 minutes. And at 12:26, Mikey McCoy adds Erica to the call. Now, that is 3 minutes after Charlie Kirk was shot at 12:23. Problem is, however you take it, that information already is contradictory with the New York Times, because the Times reported that Ms. Kirk was sitting in her mother's hospital room at 11:23 a.m. local Phoenix time, which is 12:23 Utah time, when she saw the number of her husband's longtime assistant, Mikey McCoy, appear on her phone. It's a 3-minute difference. So some might say it doesn't really matter, but I'm a firm believer in small lies lead to bigger lies, or people who tell small lies have the propensity to also tell bigger lies. And maybe we would let this go, except for the fact that now we have discovered, or people online have discovered, entire history, chapters of Erica Kirk's life that we never knew existed. For example, if we go to Wikipedia It says that Erica and Charlie Kirk started dating in New York City in 2019. And based on a recent town hall with Barry Weiss, she said that she was not dating anybody in the years prior to meeting Charlie.
When I lived out here, I was here for 5 years. I never dated here because I saw vicariously through my roommate how terrible it was. Somehow getting drinks was the replacement of having coffee and breakfast. I personally would rather have coffee or brunch with someone than go. I don't drink. I find it unproductive, not because I'm holier than whatever. I just don't operate that way. But I always thought it was very strange how she would go to drinks with one guy and then go to dinner with another. So it goes twofold here. So if you're expecting to marry someone that I was blessed with, like a Charlie, you have to be the type of woman that will attract a Charlie. Are you going to church? Are you going to Bible study? Did you tell your pastor that you are ready for the Lord to bring into your life the man that you've been praying for?
So don't drink, go to church so you can attract a good man like Charlie Kirk. But we don't know for sure if she wasn't drinking, but she did really enjoy posing with alcoholic beverages. For someone who supposedly was not a fan of drinking culture, she sure was fine using it for commercial or financial gain. Here's her with a glass of champagne. It says, "It's Wednesday, so treat yourself to a little champagne." And did she really not date while she lived in New York City? Because based on my sleuthing, she lived in New York from at least about 2016 onwards to when she married Charlie in 2021. This is an article I found from Women Magazine, and it says, amid her physical transformation, Erica found Bible in 365 in 2016, which evolved into her own clothing brand. She said, quote, "I started Bible in 365 in my New York City apartment." So this was 2016 when confirmed she did live in New York City. So why do I point out this little detail? Well, it's because remember, she said that she didn't date anybody in New York City. So presumably between the years of 2016 and 2019, when she met Charlie, she didn't date. Well, here's a photo that the internet sleuths dug up from September of 2017 with one Cabot Phillips. And the caption said, "Yes, we're that couple who gets painting lessons together." And here you could see Erica Francvi and Cabot Phillips. I don't know about you, but that looked like a little bit more than just a one-off date. It looked like they were an actual couple, as the caption said. People were commenting, "Gorgeous couple, lovebirds," in these posts that have now since been deleted. So either they're trying to hide this relationship, or maybe they just had a really bad breakup. I know people tend to sometimes delete photos from relationships that they are no longer in. But interestingly, Cabot Phillips was actually at one point Charlie Kirk's producer, and he's now a senior editor at the Daily Wire. And just yesterday, December 16, 2025, he gave a talk about, quote, "how to lead like Charlie." You got to understand, I am not from this world of media, and I think all this kind of incestuity is weird to me. But the bigger point is, why does Erica have to lie about this? Is it just for her to prop up this image that she is a conservative woman, quote unquote? Because you can't hide this kind of stuff. The internet is undefeated. So not only do we now know that she was dating before Charlie, which is fine, it's a totally normal thing to do, but she was also engaged, perhaps even married. Luna Bear Studios posted this on March 16th, 2015, prepping another couple's gallery for delivery. Erica Francvi and JT Massey, you both are amazing humans, and I love shooting you. So much laughter and love. It was perfection. This is what happens when your entire image is propped up by something that just is not true. If you are not this woman, don't pretend to be, right?
I never trusted her. You see how all the
about who you are
skeletons
now.
are coming out?
So you could say, "Hey, I was this crazy party girl. I dated around a lot. I was even engaged, but I have since found my faith. I've realized a lot of those behaviors were toxic. So
I know,
I'm
I had my
changing
legs
course
open
and making my life better." That is a perfectly good story. I don't understand why you have to lie. Speaking of lies, you know how Erica Kirk is going around and promoting Charlie's book right now, doing a whole media tour. Well, once again, she was caught in another lie.
A couple of weeks ago, Erica Kirk went on Megyn Kelly's show and was talking about Charlie Kirk's new book, Stop in the Name of God. When Megyn Kelly asks her if she's read the book in its entirety, she says yes. But last night on Sean Hannity, she tells a different story. Watch this.
To read it. When? Yeah. As much as I can, driving into the office or... No, but I mean, was it written in its entirety before Charlie died? Yes. It was, okay. Yes, it was. He finished writing this, I believe, in June or July of this year. So you had read it? Mm-hmm.
Because I read it. Again, I read the whole thing. You know, and...
I'll be honest, I can't read the last few pages. I'm not there yet. It's just emotionally because
Now I get it. This is something really small, and maybe it doesn't even matter. It's possible she just didn't bring that detail up to Megyn Kelly. But as the saying goes, if you can lie about small things, you can also lie about big things.
Whoever is careless with the truth in small matters cannot be trusted with the important matters.
I've been saying this for a long time already.
Tomorrow,
you guys,
Turning
I don't
Point's
trust
AmFest,
it.
America Fest 2025 kicks off December 18th to the 21st. It says America's future starts here. The biggest conservative movement in the country. Turning Point's annual America Fest conference will be held December 18th to the 21st, 2025 at the Phoenix Convention Center. This year's event will be unlike any other, a powerful celebration in faith, freedom, and the legacy of their founder, Charlie Kirk. Charlie's life was a testament to faith, courage, and conviction. From his earliest days, he believed America was worth fighting for, and he dedicated every moment of his 31 years to that cause.
Program her
Grounded
television,
in God's faith and driven by a calling bigger than himself, Charlie poured his life into others, raising up a generation bold in faith, steadfast in love, of freedom, and unafraid to defend this nation. What began as a vision of an 18-year-old in a small garage. What is it with the garages? Like, things can start in places other than a garage as well. I know it sounds cool and all, but anyway, in Lamont, Illinois, grew into one of the most powerful grassroots movements in America. Through Turning Point, Charlie ignited a fire in the hearts of millions. He showed us that truth must never be silenced, that courage is contagious, and that freedom must be protected at all costs. I totally agree. Truth must never be silenced, which is a little bizarre because there's a lot of people out there, including Erica Kirk, telling people to stop talking. At America Fest 2025, we gathered to honor Charlie's legacy, to continue the mission he began, and to celebrate the country he loved. Over 4 unforgettable days, thousands of attendees will hear from the nation's top leaders, engage with over 100 partner organizations, and experience world-class training designed to strengthen their leadership and activism. Well, I got a few questions, because remember, Charlie had a lot of issues with some of these organizations, with these donors. He was in a major conflict near the end of his life. So who are these partner organizations? Who are these speakers? Who chose these speakers? And which country's interests do they represent? Does the aesthetics of this show remind you of anything? Anyone? Maybe this guy? Okay, so follow this timeline here with me. On August 9th, Yair Netanyahu, the son of Bibi Netanyahu, announces that he's going to be starting a new podcast with, once again, very America First vibes. And then a few days later, on August 13th, Harrison Smith reports that he was told by someone close to Charlie Kirk that Charlie thinks Israel will kill him if he turns against them. And then, of course, we all know what happened about a month later. Tragedy strikes. But check this out. Who does Erica Kirk just so happen to be standing next to in this AIPAC photo? Yep, none other than Yair Netanyahu. Probably nothing to see here. I know, that was just a fun little conspiracy rabbit hole. I'm sure there is really nothing to see there. But the point that I was trying to make is that for an America First organization, these guys sure do care a hell of a lot about a certain other foreign country.
Charlie and I have always been very clear on our stance.
How about America?
Israel, Jewish people. It's awful.
How about America?
Awful. Anti-Semitism is what healing factor comes out of hating Jewish people? What healing factor comes out of hating Christians? What healing factor comes out? Hate in general. Nothing. Nothing. Charlie always would say very clearly, Jew hate was brain rot. He would always say it. We've been to Israel twice together.
But the Jews killed Jesus.
And
the
to
Jews
be able
helped
to
kill
walk
Jesus. So I don't
in the
understand.
place where our Lord walked
The Lord that they threw
and
sticks and
see the
stones
Bible
at?
come to life in Technicolor.
I mean, come on.
How could you hate that place?
Because they killed
How
Jesus.
could you hate the Jewish people?
He
The
came back.
assassination of my husband was heavy, but what really upsets me
And the
is when
resurrection.
people don't
He came
like
back after
Erica
3
Shabbat
days.
Shalom Kirk. Okay, that is
And
obviously a
everybody's
joke,
like,
but
holy smokes.
I think one of the biggest issues
He's alive.
that I've always brought up is this conflation of anti-Semitism with anti-Zionism. And if you continue to conflate Judaism with Zionism, that in fact is a very dangerous thing. And it is what leads to, I think, the true rise of anti-Semitism around the world. But why does Erica even matter? That's something that I think may be a question that you guys have. Why are we even talking about her? Well, I think she matters because she is taking Charlie's place atop the American political empire. The whole thing. It's not just conservative Americans, it's all Americans. She literally has her own tab on CBS News. Okay, it's like, yes, horrible attack at Bondi Beach. You got the Brown University shooting that we still have no clue who did as of the time I'm filming this. And we got an Erica Kirk tab. She's essentially being propped up as America's mom now. So the question that I would like to ask all of you is, would you trust or do you trust this person with your life, your community, your family, your future, your country?
No.
That is it for me this week. What are your thoughts about Erica Kirk? Sound off in the comment section below.
I know she's
if you want to support my
Republican, but
journalism, you
damn.
can become a member by going to my
I don't trust
website,
her ass.
5149jameslee.com.
I don't trust her ass. Her ass is crooked. I mean, she's something else. Like 3 months after your husband dies, you want to pop up and do a book tour and put like, why was that book not pushed down the line and come out like next year instead of this year? You know what I mean? Why was the rush? 3 months after he died. You gotta be fucking kidding me, right? It's crazy. So 11, and we're gonna go now to 2 episodes of Tyson De La Cruz, and then we're wrapping it up. So go ahead and set this up, and let's watch Tyson De La Cruz.
Turtle Island Liberation Front is looking for reparations and land back for these indigenous groups in which the land was usurped.
America. The FBI stopped what had been one of the deadliest domestic terrorist attacks in recent history. 4 members of a radical far-left extremist group called the Turtle Island Liberation Front were arrested in the Mojave Desert on Friday while testing explosive devices they planned to detonate at multiple locations across Los Angeles on New Year's Eve.
Wow.
A fifth suspect was arrested in New Orleans for planning a separate attack. These weren't just protesters.
They're all over the place,
These were
man.
trained bombers with detailed attack plans, chemical precursors, and the intent to kill as many Americans
I've been
as
saying
possible.
this for fucking years, man. I know they're here. They've been here.
Federal authorities say they disrupted a credible terrorist threat over the weekend,
Let me go get
arresting
me
4
a
alleged
snack.
members
I'll
of
be
a
back.
radical pro-Palestinian extremist group accused of planning coordinated New Year's Eve bombings in Los Angeles.
What is up, guys? Tyson De La Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. This story should be dominating every news channel in America right now. We came within days of a coordinated terrorist attack on American soil, and the mainstream media is barely covering it because it doesn't fit their narrative about who the real terrorists are. Let me break down who these people were and what they were planning. The 4 suspects arrested in the Mojave Desert are Aubrey Eileen Carroll, 30 years old, Zachary Aaron Page, 32 years old, Dante Anthony Garfield, 24 years old, and Tina Chin Ting La, 41 years old. All are from the Los Angeles area and are members of the Turtle Island Liberation Front.
The FBI told Fox News Digital that the members self-identified as part of a radical offshoot of the Turtle Island Liberation Front, also known as TILF, an extremist group motivated by pro-Palestinian, anti-law enforcement, and anti-government ideology.
Now, what is the Turtle Liberation Front? According to the FBI, it is a radical extremist group motivated by pro-Palestine and anti-law enforcement and anti-government ideology. They call themselves anti-capitalist and believe in using violence to overthrow what they call illegal empire. Their Instagram account, which is still up, by the way, says their goal is to free Turtle Island from American control. Turtle Island is the indigenous name for North America that these radical leftists have appropriated to justify their terrorism. Their posts say things like "Death to America," "Long live Turtle Island and Palestine," and "Death to ICE."
Was preparing to conduct a series of bombings against multiple targets in California beginning on New Year's Eve.
Attorney General Pam Bondi said the Department of Justice and the FBI prevented what would have been a massive and horrific terror plot. These weren't amateurs, guys. They had detailed plans, they had materials, and they were just days away from executing coordinated bombings across Southern California. In November 2025, the ringleader, Audrey Carroll, created a detailed bombing plot called Operation Midnight Sun that included step-by-step instructions to build improvised explosive devices and listed multiple targets across Orange County and Los Angeles. According to the federal complaint, Carroll and her co-conspirators planned to use explosive devices to attack 5 or more locations across Southern California on New Year's Eve. The targets were described as logistics centers. Think Amazon-type distribution facilities. The plan was for these bombs to explode simultaneously at midnight on New Year's Eve when the facilities would be full of workers. Carroll made her intentions crystal clear. She said, and I quote, "What we're doing will be considered a terrorist attack." She knew exactly what she was doing. This wasn't some protest that got out of hand. This was premeditated terrorism designed to kill Americans and destroy American businesses. And it gets worse. Carroll and Page also discussed plans to follow up attacks after the bombings. They wanted to target ICE agents and vehicles with pipe bombs. Carroll stated that those attacks would take some of them out and scare the rest. Think about what this means. These terrorists weren't just planning one attack. They were planning an ongoing campaign of violence against federal law enforcement officers. They wanted to kill ICE agents for doing their job and enforcing immigration law. The 4 defendants formed an even more radical fraction within the Turtle Island Liberation Front called the Order of Black Lotus. Carroll described this group to her co-conspirators as everything radical. This was the inner circle, true believers who were willing to actually carry out the violence that the larger group talked about. Throughout early December, the co-conspirators discussed their plans during in-person meetings in Los Angeles and through encrypted messaging apps. They purchased multiple pieces of bomb-making materials and discussed their travel plans to the Mojave Desert to test their explosives. On Friday, December 12th, the defendants took a significant step to carry out their plans. They traveled to a remote campsite in the Mojave Desert and began unloading their bomb-making materials to assemble and test bombs.
The agency said the 4 were arrested in Lucerne Valley, where they were believed to be preparing to test explosive devices ahead of the planned attacks. They have each been charged with conspiracy and possession of a destructive device.
The FBI had been watching them the entire time. They had surveillance planes overhead recording everything. They had SWAT teams, special agent bomb technicians, evidence response teams, and the FBI's elite hostage rescue team staged in the desert waiting for the right moment. When the terrorists started setting up their bomb-making materials on tables in the desert, the FBI moved in and arrested all 4 suspects without indictment. They had everything they needed to make operational bombs at the location. They had chemical precursors, the equipment, the details, instructions to build pipe bombs. The FBI stopped them before they could assemble functional explosive devices, but they were literally within hours of having working bombs. Shortly after the arrest, the FBI executed multiple search warrants at the defendants' residence in Southern California and other locations throughout the country. What they found proves this was a sophisticated, well-planned terrorist operation. In Audrey Carroll's residence, law enforcement found multiple posters and materials associated with the Turtle Island Liberation Front, including posters stating "Death to America," "Long live Turtle Island and Palestine," and "Death to ICE" and Turtle Island Liberation Front. In Zachary Page's residence, they found a copy of detailed bomb attack plans, so both ringleaders and her top lieutenant had copies of operational plans.
The FBI served a search warrant at this home in Glendale Friday, where neighbors say one of the suspects, Tina Lay, lived.
It's definitely terrifying considering that we have kids who play out here on the street.
This wasn't some fantasy that they were just talking about online. This was a real plot with written instructions and assigned roles. The FBI also recovered electronic devices and digital evidence that will likely reveal the full extent of the conspiracy and whether there are additional co-conspirators who haven't been arrested yet. Each of the 4 defendants is charged with conspiracy and possession of unregistered destructive devices. U.S. Attorney Bill Assaley said they intended to file additional charges in the coming weeks as they finish reviewing the evidence. All 4 defendants are being held without bail and made their initial court appearance on December 15th at a federal courthouse in downtown Los Angeles. They face up to 20 years in prison if convicted. Now here's where the story gets even more concerning. The FBI announced a 5th individual believed to be connected to the same extremist group was arrested in New Orleans for allegedly planning a separate attack. Think about what this means. This wasn't just a Los Angeles cell planning one attack. This was a coordinated network with members in multiple cities planning simultaneous attacks across the country. If the FBI hadn't infiltrated this group and we could have had a terrorist attack in Los Angeles and New Orleans on the same night. The New Orleans suspect's identity hasn't been released yet, and we don't know the specific target of that planned attack. But the fact that there was a separate cell planning a separate attack shows how organized and dangerous this group really is. This is exactly what Tulsi Gabbard has been warning about, the director of national intelligence. She's been sounding the alarm about domestic terrorist threats and the need to take these extremist groups seriously.
18,000 known or suspected terrorists entered the United States during the Biden administration.
Tulsi Gabbard revealed that 18,000 known or suspected terrorists entered the United States during the Biden administration.
I knew it.
Let me repeat that.
I've been saying it for the longest.
That's roughly half of the capacity of a major league baseball
and I think it's more than that, too.
That is 18,000 people with ties to jihadi groups like ISIS and Al-Qaeda.
These are individuals who under normal circumstances would never be allowed to enter our country.
But the Biden administration's open border policies just let them walk right in. And here's what she said that keeps her up at night. Of those 18,000 known or suspected terrorists, her deepest concern is that there's so many more that we're not even aware of yet. These are just the ones that we know. How many more are out there that we haven't identified?
I've been saying this
we
for
are seeing
years.
a wide array of
For
very
years
dangerous
I've been
threats
saying
that emanate from the border. There is a particular network that has where some of the overseas facilitators of the smuggling network have ISIS ties that we're very concerned about and that we've been spending enormous amount of effort with our partners investigating.
Even Joey B's own FBI director, Christopher Wray, warned about this. This, my friends, is the reality that the Biden administration created. They opened the borders. They stopped vetting people properly. And now we have terrorist sleeper cells operating inside the United States. The Turtle Island liberation plot is just one example of what happens when you prioritize political correctness over national security. Now, let me try to connect the dots to what happened just 2 days ago in Australia, because there's a pattern here that everyone needs to understand. Alleged ISIS-tied Muslim terrorist walked around and massacred at least 15 Jews in the deadliest shooting in Australia since 1996. And what was the Australian government's response? Within 24 hours, they were already talking about tightening gun laws even more, because that's always the solution, right? Punish law-abiding citizens instead of addressing the real problem. Radical Islamic terrorism and failed immigration policies.
Exactly.
The Prime Minister of Australia was telling people 90 days ago to stop being Islamophobic. He was more worried about people's feelings than about terrorists who were planning to murder innocent civilians. And now 15 Jews are dead because progressive politicians care more about appearing tolerant than protecting citizens. This isn't happening in a vacuum. Look what's going on in Dearborn, Michigan. Look what's happening in Somalia, Minnesota, where Governor Tampon Tim Walz has the audacity to say that we're going to let more Somalians in after billions of dollars were stolen from taxpayers through welfare fraud schemes. What are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to sit here in silence while this happens? We're supposed to not be vocal about the pattern. Listen, guys, I don't care what religion you are, whether you're Muslim, Christian, Jewish, whatever. If you come to America, you assimilate. You love this country. You make it safer. You create jobs. You adjust to our standards. You bring crime down. If you don't do that. I don't care where you come from. But if you look at the data, I'm talking about real data, not manipulated statistics that the leftist mainstream media want you to see. You see what happens when certain communities refuse to assimilate. They create parallel societies that reject American values. And then you can't sit there and pretend that it's not a problem. You know what works? Look at Poland, for example. Their government said it in parliament. They take 0 refugees from Muslim countries. 0. And guess what? They have the lowest unemployment, lowest crime, lowest stabbing rates, lowest everything bad in Europe. Meanwhile, look at what's happening in the UK. Look at what's happening in Australia. Look at what's happening in major American cities. These beautiful places are being destroyed by policies that prioritize political correctness over citizen safety. The Turtle Island Liberation Front terrorists weren't refugees or immigrants. They were homegrown American radicalized by far left ideology. But to me, the pattern is the same. Progressive politicians refuse to acknowledge threats because doing so would contradict their worldview. They would rather let Americans die and be stolen from than admit that they were wrong about open borders, about defunding the police, about coddling extremists. The investigation was initiated in part due to the September 2025 executive order signed by President Trump to root out left-wing domestic terrorist organizations like Antifa and groups like Turtle Island Liberation Front. President Trump made it clear that these recent attacks have highlighted the grave threats posed by these far-left domestic terrorist groups. These threats are sophisticated. These threats are organized campaigns of targeted intimidation, radicalization, threats, violence designed to silence opposition, limit political activity, and prevent the proper function of society. In direct response to the president's order, Attorney General Pam Bondi issued a memo to federal prosecutors implementing and mobilizing federal law enforcement to prioritize and counter domestic terrorism and political violence investigations. As a result of those directives, that is where they built this case. This is what happens when you have leadership that takes domestic terrorism seriously instead of pretending that it doesn't exist or making excuses for it. America, the FBI stopped what would have been one of the deadliest domestic terrorist attacks in recent history. 4 far-left extremists were arrested in the Mojave Desert while testing bombs they planned to detonate at multiple locations across Los Angeles on New Year's Eve. The 5th suspect was arrested in New Orleans, planning a separate attack. These weren't protesters. These were terrorists with detailed attack plans, bomb-making materials, and stated intent to kill Americans and federal law enforcement officers. They called their plan Operation Midnight Sun and said explicitly, what we are doing will be considered a terrorist act. The Turtle Island Liberation Front represents everything dangerous about far-left extremists in America. They hide behind social justice language while planning mass murder. They claim to be fighting for indigenous rights while plotting to kill innocent Americans. They wave Palestinian flags while building bombs to blow up American businesses. Director Tulsi Gabbard warned us that 18,000 known or suspected terrorists entered the United States under the Biden administration. The Turtle Island Liberation Front shows that the threat isn't just from foreign terrorists. It's homegrown radicals radicalized by far-left ideology that teaches them America is evil and violence is justified. So here's the reality that nobody wants to say out loud. We're not dealing with a few isolated extremists anymore. We're dealing with organized terror networks operating on American soil, planning coordinated attacks and waiting for the right moment to strike. The only reason Los Angeles isn't cleaning up body parts right now is because President Trump signed an executive order that gave law enforcement the tools to actually go after these groups. But my question is, how many more cells are out there? How many more Operation Midnight Suns are being planned right now while progressive politicians tell us the real threat is coming from MAGA supporters? Let me know what you think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.
Yeah, thank you, Tyson the Cruz, for a great upload there. I've been saying this for years. My God, for years. These motherfuckers came through the damn border. Like, even the trains are going crazy outside. These motherfuckers came through the border. And I knew a lot of cells. I was kept telling people a lot of sleeper cells are coming through. I see them all coming in. No, the United States did nothing. Biden did nothing. He just let them in. He doesn't give a fuck. He wants to blow up from us from the inside. That's how they want to take out the Americans. Like, if he's not gonna, like, listen, this is how you take out your competition. You know, it's crazy, man. And they're in here. They're here. They're all over the place. They're in every city, every state. It's disgusting, man. That's why we need Trump to sign the Insurrection Act. I don't know what the fuck is taking for so long for him to do that. I just don't get it. That's why Trump pisses me off too, because that shit should have been signed on day one. Anyhow, see, that's how I would run as a president. I don't play that shit. Fuck that. Vote for me, 2028. I'll fucking take us to the top. My mind over your matter. Always moving forward. Fuck. 2028. Rick just launched his 2028. He's running against Vance. Fuck yes. And he curses too. Hell yeah. I'll get a lot of people to come on my side. All right, here we go. Let's set up for the next one of Tyson De La Cruz, the last one for the night. Here we go.
Of misclassification concerns, and if so, when did they know?
America, the crime statistics scandal in Washington, D.C. just exploded wide open. A whistleblower inside the Metropolitan Police Department has come forward with evidence that D.C.'s top cop, Chief Pamela Smith, pressured commanders to manipulate crime data to make the city appear safer than it actually is. And now, just days before this scandal broke, Chief Smith has resigned. Mayor Bowser announced that she won't be seeking re-election, and the U.S. Attorney has confirmed that crimes were systematically misclassified to artificially lower violent crime numbers.
Tonight, DC's top prosecutor is backing claims DC police manipulated crime stats to show a bigger drop in crime in the district than was actually the case.
What is up, guys? Tyson De La Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. I've said it time and time again. All these blue cities were lying about their crime stats, and now we got receipts. DC wasn't just
lying too.
Like Diddy in a prison cell. Bruh. They were running a systematic fraud operation to deceive the American people about how dangerous their city really was. Let me break down how this entire scandal came to light, because it starts with one brave commander who refused to go along with the fraud. According to multiple sources, a DC police commander was suspended after he was caught changing crime statistics. But here's the twist. He was actually changing them to reflect what was actually happening, not to minimize serious crimes like his bosses wanted. This commander became a whistleblower and exposed what's really happening inside the MPD. Chief Pamela Smith and her top brass were pressuring district commanders to reclassify violent crimes as lesser offenses to make DC's crime numbers look better than they actually were.
A report released today by the Republican-led House Oversight Committee claims DC's police chief manipulated crime statistics.
The House Oversight Committee launched an investigation after this whistleblower came forward. They conducted transcribed interviews with commanders across DC's patrol districts, and what they found was absolutely damning. Commander after commander testified that Chief Smith pushed them to frequently classify crimes as lesser charges to paint a picture of lower crime to the public. One commander was asked directly over the last few years, has there been an internal pressure to simply bring down crime statistics? Here's the answer. The answer was yes. Extreme, they said. There's always been pressure to keep crime down, but the focus on statistics has come in with this current administration or regime. I want you guys to think about the word choice here. Regime. This commander is describing Chief Smith's leadership like it's an authoritarian government, not a police department. That tells you everything you need to know about the culture of fear and intimidation that she created. Now let's talk about how DC was cooked more than Emeril Lagasse. Bam! Because the methods that they used were straight out of a corruption playbook. The House Oversight Committee report explains that MPD allegedly reclassified violent crimes to lesser charges. Here's a perfect example. Assault with a deadly weapon was reduced to endangerment with a firearm. Think about what this means. Somebody pulls a gun on you and threatens to kill you. That's assault with a deadly deadly weapon, a serious violent crime. But DC was reclassifying those incidents as endangerment with a firearm, which sounds less serious and doesn't count the same way in violent crime statistics. Oh, crime is down because people aren't reporting crime. Crime is down because your police department is understaffed. Crime is down because you recategorize your crimes. Domestic violence is reclassified as a friendly shove. Carjackings are reclassified as letting somebody borrow your car. What a joke.
Violent crime is down 26%. Homicides are down. Carjackings have been cut in half, and we continue to see reductions in property crime. But these are not just statistics. These are saved lives.
All year long, Mayor Bowser was out toting these fake numbers. Violent crime was down 26%. Homicides are down. These numbers saved lives, except they weren't real reductions. They were statistical manipulations designed to make her administration look successful. The DC Police Union chair said it perfectly. I think there's potentially a drop from where it was in 2023. I think there's a possibility that crime came down, but the department is reporting that in 2024, crime went down 35%, violent crime, then again, another 25% through August just this year. That is preposterous to suggest that cumulatively, we've seen 60+% drops in violent crime. He's right, a 60% cumulative drop in violent crime in 2 years in a city that was experiencing record violence. That's not crime reduction. That is a statistical miracle, my friends. That only happens when you're manipulating the data. The House Oversight Committee report paints a disturbing picture of how Chief Smith ran the Metropolitan Police Department. Multiple commanders described a toxic management culture created by the chief, a culture of fear, intimidation, threats, and retaliation.
In executive management briefings, how would you characterize what happens when crime is up if the chief is upset about numbers? What occurs there? And the commander's response in front of everybody, professional staff, all of us, there's a lot of criticism that occurs publicly.
Commanders testify that Chief Smith would publicly humiliate them in front of their colleagues and professional staff if crime numbers in their district weren't what she wanted to see. One commander described those briefings as brutal sessions where the chief would attack and criticize commanders in front of everybody else. Another commander was asked, would you say that there's a pattern of relation here? The answer was yes. Yes, we've had commanders been moved out of the commands for legitimate questions and suggestions and is seen as disloyal. So if you question the chief's methods or suggest maybe manipulating crime statistics wasn't a good idea, you get punished. You got transferred. You got demoted. You got publicly humiliated. This is how authoritarian regimes operate, not how professional police.
And right in Washington, D.C., that's crazy, right?
The culture of MPD. One commander gave a one-word answer: toxic, not the Britney Spears song.
Oh no.
That's the police department that's supposed to be protecting the nation's capital. That's the leadership that Mayor Bowser was defending and praising all year. Now the DC Police Union and the House Republicans making these allegations is one thing, but when the U.S. Attorney of the District of Columbia confirms it, that's a whole different level. U.S. Attorney Judge Janine released a statement that should have been on every front page newspaper.
U.S. Attorney Janine Pirro saying of her own office's investigation, quote, "It is evident that a significant number of reports have been misclassified, making crime appear artificially lower than it was."
That, my friends, is the top federal prosecutor in DC confirming that the city's crime statistics were fraudulent. But then she went on to say something that should outrage every DC resident.
She says DC's top cops misclassified crimes in ways that made violent crime appear to drop more than it actually did, but she stopped short of calling the actions criminal.
So we have confirmed fraud. We have commanders testifying under oath about the pressure to manipulate data. We have a toxic culture of fear and retaliation. And the U.S. attorney says, yeah, they did it. But she also says they're not going to charge anyone. If you're a politically connected police chief lying about crime statistics, you get to resign with your pension intact. All of this comes on the high top heels of DC's top cop resigning. On December 9th, Chief Pamela Smith announced she was stepping down at the end of the year after just 2 years on the job. And of course, she denied that her resignation had anything to do with this investigation.
My decision was not factored into anything with respect other than the fact that it's time.
right. It's just a magical coincidence that you're resigning right as the House Oversight Committee releases a damning report. The U.S. Attorney confirms data manipulation, and your own
And she was
commanders
still
are
called
testifying
into
about your
Congress
toxic
and
leadership.
has
The
to
House
still
Oversight Committee chairman didn't
oversight
buy it
is
either. He said Chief Smith's decision to
subpoena
mislead
her.
the public by manipulating crime statistics is dangerous and undermines trust in both local leadership and law enforcement in the district. He called her to resign immediately rather than waiting till the end of the year. Of course, Mayor Bowser is defending her to the very end. Even after the U.S. Attorney confirmed the fraud, Bowser said the decline in crime is attributed to hard work of D.C. police and Chief Smith's leadership. She's still pretending the fake numbers are real. And speaking of Mayor Bowser,
needs to
she
go.
just announced that she will not run for re-election
Yeah.
after 10 years as DC's mayor. She's
She needs to
decided
go.
that this third term will be her last.
DC Mayor Muriel Bowser has announced that she will not
Yeah, 'cause
run
they're
for
gonna get in
re-election.
trouble.
Thanks for joining us for DC News Now at 4. Mark Hall.
Hey, good afternoon. I'm Annalisa Gale. She made that announcement today on her X account saying she will finish out her term for the next 12 months, but that this third term will be her last.
Now, Bowser made this announcement on social media saying it's been an honor of a lifetime and she wants to spend more time with her family, but the timing is awfully convenient, isn't it? Her police chief just resigned in disgrace. The U.S. Attorney just confirmed that the crime statistics were manipulated under her watch. Now she suddenly decided not to run again. Bowser spent the last year walking a tightrope between the Trump administration, which has been scrutinizing D.C. over crime, and her progressive base, which opposed federal intervention. She defended Chief Smith's fake crime statistics while President Trump was sending in the National Guard to actually address the violence. And now she and her police chief are heading for the exit before the full extent of the scandal comes to light. Now here's where the scandal gets really interesting. The crime statistic fraud in D.C. has Maryland officials shaking in their boots. Prince George's County held a press conference where they were asked directly, can you trust your crime numbers?
Today, Prince George's County leaders announced their year-end numbers.
And they answered our questions about whether the public can trust those numbers.
Prince George's County Police Chief George Nader and county executive insisted that their numbers are accurate. Nader said there's nothing more important to having accurate numbers to us, and our numbers are accurate. We'll see about that one.
Would I have loved to have seen even more reduction in crime across the board? Of course, because that would mean that there are fewer victims, or hopefully at some point, no victims at all. But we are very focused on providing accurate numbers.
But the fact that they even have to address this question shows how much damage the DC scandal has already done. When one major jurisdiction gets caught cooking the books more than Wolfgang Puck, it raises some questions about other jurisdictions that's reporting dramatic crime reductions. Prince George's County has been reporting significant drops in crime over the last 2 years. Murders down 40%, carjackings down 55%, violent crime down 19%. Those are great numbers if they are real. But after what we just learned about DC, can we trust them? The reporter asked a key question. In light of the accusations in the district, can we trust the PG stats? And the officials had to spend time defending their data interrogation instead of just celebrating their crime reduction. Now here's a smoking gun that proves DC was lying. The DC Police Union pointed out in 2024 when DC reported a 28% violent crime drop, FBI numbers actually showed nearly 2% increase.
I think there is a potentially a drop from where we were in 2023. I think that there's a possibility that crime has come down. But the department is reporting that in 2024, crime went down 35%, violent crime. And then again, another 25% through August of this year. That is preposterous.
So DC is telling the public that violent crime dropped by 28%, but the FBI, which collects data independently, shows crime actually went up. How is this possible? It's only possible if DC is manipulating their local data to show reductions that don't even exist. The union chairman said, we're out on the streets. We know the calls we're responding to. The officers on the ground know the real crime situation, and it doesn't match what Chief Smith was reporting to the public. This is why the whistleblower came forward. This is why commanders testify about the
That's why they're leaving.
Data, because they knew the numbers being reported to the public were absolute lies, and they couldn't stay silent anymore. America, this is the biggest crime statistic scandal in recent memory. DC's police chief systematically pressured commanders to misclassify violent crimes to make the city appear safer than it actually was. Assault with a deadly weapon became endangerment with a firearm. Carjackings became unauthorized use of vehicles. Domestic violence became a friendly disagreement. The U.S. attorney confirmed that a significant number
That's
of reports
crazy.
were misclassified to artificially lower crime statistics. The House Oversight
They
Committee
now they have to go
documented
through
a
all those
toxic
reports
culture of
and
fear, intimidation, and
the truth.
retaliation. Commanders testified under oath
Crime
about
never
the
went
pressure to
down.
cook the books, and the FBI's independent data showed that crime actually increased while DC claimed it dropped 28%. Chief Pamela Smith resigned in disgrace. Mayor Bowser announced she won't seek re-election, and now Maryland officials are being asked if their crime statistics can be trusted. But here's what nobody in power wants to admit. This isn't just a DC problem. Every blue city reporting miraculous crime reductions needs to have their books audited, because when you create a political environment where police chiefs get promoted for showing crime reduction regardless of the reality, you incentivize fraud. And that's exactly what happened in DC. A systematic, coordinated effort to lie to the American people about how dangerous their city really was. The only question is, how many other cities are running the same scam? Let me know what you think about
I
this.
know,
Drop it
right?
down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.
Thank you, Another great upload there. Yeah, that's just, they're so disgraceful. Like, that's why they're leaving, because they know the truth. They manipulated the reports, and of course, title things differently, and magically your numbers are down. Yay, let's go give it to the media. Let the media drown us with these fraudulent numbers. Because if the real numbers was to been given out, you would say, what the fuck? These motherfuckers need to be fired. Like, they're not going down, they're fucking high. Anyhow, that's how they manipulate the people's minds. They like do this little magic shit to your heads and make you believe shit. Anyhow, I'm so tired. I'm getting off of here. I have to go to sleep like everyone, and I'm actually going to see Avatar. I'm going to see Avatar Fire and Ash tomorrow. Comes out Friday, but I get to see it a day early. So I will be going tomorrow at 2:15 to go watch it, and expect my review before Tyson De La Cruz comes onto the show. Okay, he's not going to be here in the beginning of the show. He may come in some point in the show. He has some stuff he has to take care of. So, but he said if he could, he will try to make an attempt to come in towards the end part of the show, because my show fucking goes for 3 hours. It's like Rick does not shut the fuck up. I know, I don't. I'm sorry. I'm Puerto Rican. Anyhow. Oh man, this is a great night, and I'm ready to get to bed. I don't know about you, but I am tired. I did so much. The little groceries. I went to Walmart. Fucking saw the tin cans. And I'm like, wow, that's so cool. I feel like going back and getting some more. Probably the ones that I didn't get, like to get the whole the collection. So I might go back tomorrow and see, and hopefully they're there, so that way I could get the other two. It'll be fucked up. I go tomorrow, they're not there. I'll be so pissed. I'd be like, missed opportunity, motherfucker. All right, guys, I'm going. I'm out. I'll see y'all. Let me see. See you Friday. Yeah, I hope Friday. Okay, I might have to change Friday. Okay, and I was thinking about it because my body's starting to hurt. And usually when that happens, that means rain is coming. I don't do good with rain. And I don't think I'm gonna be able to go up there if it's gonna be raining, just because I know my body is already starting to hurt now. Like literally, I just took my medicine as the show was going because my body's acting really weird. And my body acts weird every time rain comes. I get more painful. Tomorrow, it'll be more painful. I just want to have a good time watching Avatar, and so if it gets changed, if I do change it, maybe I could go up there. Let me see if it's not Friday, because I know Friday's gonna. I already feel the pain. The rain pain is just the same. Let me see. That Tuesday. Maybe I could go up there on the Tuesday, the 23rd. If there's I don't have no appointment, I don't think, on that day. So if I don't make it on the 19th, Friday, definitely for sure the 23rd. Just because rain really fucks me up. Like, rain is my kryptonite. Like, lately, rain has been my kryptonite. And the storms feel a little different. Like, every year it feels different. Like, I'm feeling it more, and it's hurting me more in my head. Like, I'm being attacked in my brain. Like, that's how I feel. Like, I'm being attacked. So I'm gonna have to see a specialist, a neurologist. I do have an appointment to see a neurologist in March, but I'm gonna see if they can, after the new year. Hopefully not soon, because I would like to not be in the hospital before Christmas. That would fucking suck. I spend years in the hospital. Well, I spend many times during Christmas and New Year's in the hospital. I missed out on a lot of New Year's and Christmases. And I don't want this year to be one to fuck it up. At least until like the new year, the only thing I look forward to in the new year is like the Three Kings. Oh, you hear the Train of Truth honk the horn when I said the Three Kings. Wow. And my birthday. So that's all I'm looking forward to January. And then I have my mother's birthday too is in January, and my stepfather's birthday is in January too. So I don't think I tell them, look, pick which one, Christmas or birthdays. So I think this year I'm gonna aim for their birthdays, not so much focus on Christmas, because I just think Christmas is it's not the same. The gig is up. We already know what it is and what it's about. It's about fulfilling the budget for the next year. Buy as much as you can, spend as much as you can, so that way the money goes back into the tax and goes back into the system, and that's how they pay for the military. That's how they pay for a lot of the things that that keep the country going. Is the Christmas. It's their biggest cash cow holiday. So this year I've been very holding back. The only thing I got this year is for my niece, and that's it. That's it. I got myself something. I got me a pair of shoes. I think I get them either tomorrow or Friday. I don't know, because they sent me 2 emails like 3 hours apart. One says a schedule for tomorrow, and then another one says rescheduled for Friday. So I don't know what the fuck, which day they're coming. They got me so confused. And then they want a signature, to intercept the package. We have a mail room here. All they gotta do is fucking press the fucking they can get in, but other people can't. It's it has a camera, and on the camera it sees their uniform and see like their company, and then it opens the door for them. Some fancy high tech shit, right? Fancy shit, like, for real. It's so cool. But Have a good morning, good afternoon, and a good night. And I'll definitely catch y'all on the flip side. And we'll see tomorrow. My review. Hopefully it'll be a good review. I don't know how long that movie is. Holy shit! Let me check to see how long that movie is. Because my back's hurting me, but at least it's the reclining seats, so I'll be like nice and comfortable in the reclining seats. Let me see, where is it? But there's one more movie I want to see before the end of the year, but damn, where's my ticket? Here it is. How long is this movie? Oh, fuck. The train. I said fuck, and the train came out. 3 hours and 15 minutes. Holy smokes. 3 hours and 15 minutes. Thank God I'm going at 2:15. So I'll be getting out like 5:30, almost like 5:40. Because you know how they play like half an hour of commercials? Like they play like 15 minutes of, and especially because it's Avatar, so they know they're gonna put the good commercials for the next movies that are gonna be coming out. So I know they're gonna play the Mario Brother one because Mario Brother I think is coming out next year. Mario Brothers, it's in April of next year, which I'm looking forward to it because I am gonna go watch that one. And I wonder what other movies they're gonna show, and I hope they're good because lately movies have been like, not good. All right, guys, I'm done. You guys are done. Get to bed, and I'm going to bed too. So good night, everyone.